Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of HP Critical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jerel, and I am joined by Brandon.
Hey, guys.
Kellie.
Hi, everybody.
Gabe.
Salutations.
And another special guest for this week, Hannah.
Hello.
So, first of all, for anyone who doesn't know Hannah, can you please introduce yourself for our listeners?
Yes, I am a freelance writer for IGN. I work with their guides team and their commerce team, and that's pretty much the bulk of what I do, but I also have a podcast called Shuffle the Pod that I co-host with my friend Catherine, so that's kind of me in a nutshell.
And to start this, can we talk about the last guide that you were working on?
Yes, I did the part of the guide. I helped out the editor, but Resident Evil Village, which I spent most of this week just in my laptop trying to get done.
Yeah, I was like, on release day, I remember I messaged you like, good luck, because guides are like, I don't know how guide writers do guides. You guys are like, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. There's no way. I've tried writing a guide one time and I was like, how do you even format this? Like, I don't.
It's really fun. It gets stressful when you hit release day and then you try to figure out, okay, what's important to get out there really quick? What do I need to hit during the weekend that people will probably be looking up? So then it just becomes more of a panic of trying to get things done as much as you can.
And then the craziest part was that you were doing Resident Evil Village. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to play Resident Evil Village. But for HP Critical, we have our awesome scary scream queen Kellie here, who is going to be writing the HP Critical review for Resident Evil Village. How are you feeling about it, Kellie?
I haven't finished the game yet, and I'm very irritated at that, but I think I'm getting close. My article is already so long, and I'm not even done. I'm like, the story is just so in-depth, but like, I didn't want to leave anything out because it is pretty interesting, so I'm just writing so much. It's probably one of my longest reviews.
Oh, where are you at?
Already.
Which part are you at?
I'm at the factory, Heisenberg's factory.
Okay, so you're pretty close.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty close, but I feel like there's gonna be a fake ending where you're like, you think it's over and it's not, and I'm like pretty sure that that's gonna happen, so I'm holding out for that, but
I won't spoil it for you.
I don't, because I'm like, I haven't seen actually anything about the ending, so I'm like staying clear, I haven't read anything.
Yeah.
I saw
want to be surprised.
I played the demo, I played the first demo, and like, as I'm playing, my friend was here, and I started screaming. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, something just ran by the window. I saw it. And he's like, there was nothing there. I was like, no, it's outside. You're lying to me. Go outside. There's a bunch of like werewolf shits. And I'm like, this is just not for me. I think it's time to wrap it up. I'm bad at puzzles. I panic super hard. Like they know I panic like super hard. So I was like, I don't know how to open the door. Like, you just go through the door. I can't do it. So like, power to the both of you guys for being able to power through Resident Evil Village. I do want to play it. I am interested in the story, but I'll probably end up watching somebody else play it. But Hannah, how are you feeling about it? Non-spoilery, how are you feeling about it?
I actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't as scary as I anticipated it to be. I think it was more action heavy. Especially as you get later on in the game, it's definitely more action heavy. But I really enjoyed the villains. I think they're kind of campy and a little cheesy at times, but I thought they were really fun, and I actually really enjoyed it. I'd definitely play it again.
I saw a scene with all the villains together, and I was like, see, this is the part of the game I want to play. Like, this part looks like a lot of fun. And then I saw what happens after that, when they, like, drag them away, and I was like, this is the part I can't play. Like, this is the scary part. This is the part I don't want to be a part of. But yeah, so, power to the both of you. I'm happy that you're both enjoying it. Maybe one day I will be, not scared enough to enjoy it. I'll probably end up using your guide from IGN, because I am too scared to play through it myself. But yeah, thanks for that.
It's not that bad. The more you get into it, it's really not that scary. You just got to get over that initial bump, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
It's definitely not scary like Biohazard. Like, Biohazard is like
worse
horror game. Like, this is just like, oh, there's like a giant vampire lady. She's not really that scary. Okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it's more like action. And a lot more enemies. Like, a lot of them. But easier to kill, maybe.
They definitely toned it down from Biohazard. That's for sure.
I got through the beginning of Biohazard when, like, first of all, when my arm got cut off, I was like, what am I playing? Like, what is going on? How am I going to play the rest of this game? And I got to the part where, like, after the scene where they're at the table and then the guy is, like, chasing you around the house in the very beginning, and I was like, my heart literally cannot handle being chased by this man in this house. And how people play that in VR, I will literally never understand. There's
never.
Absolutely no way.
Never gonna happen.
Absolutely.
That's where I draw the line. No VR horror game for me. I'm good.
So speaking of drawing the line, I'm going to use that as a wonderful segue. Thank you.
Do it.
So speaking of drawing the line, there's a tweet that I saw recently that I sent to you guys by Robbie Fox 1, and it says, and I quote, Ezra has officially beat Bloodborne. I don't want to hear games journalists or writers complain again about difficulty in games. We don't need easy modes in every game. If my 5-year-old can do it, so can you. And then it also says, please like and retweet because he deserves it, and follow to see more. What a great way to, exploit your child. Just kidding. So first of all, my first question to you guys is Bloodborne. Rated M for mature. How do you guys feel about kids, 5-year-olds specifically, playing Bloodborne? Would you let your kids play it?
Yeah, 5's too
You've been
young.
over this.
Yeah, we have been over this, but like specifically 5-year-olds, I think that's too young. Like, here's the thing. I'm personally of the mind that, like, if you're, like, under, like, double digits, you're not supposed to be playing no M-rated games. I don't care what it is.
Oh.
Now, once you get, like, at least to, like, 10, I think it depends on the kid. That's more of a case-by-case basis thing. Like, how mature is the kid? How well can they deal with these kind of, like, mature themes and stuff like that? Maybe they can handle a specific M-rated game. But 5, hell no! Like, what is this? What is this? And then... Now, that's just talking about, like, just maturity in general, not even about Bloodborne itself, but that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. I mean, I love Bloodborne, but it's way, way too violent for kids. Way too violent.
You're just torturing your kid. Like,
yeah, that's
is he actually
pain.
enjoying Bloodborne, or are you just, like, telling him to play it? Like, is this what he like? Like, does he go to school? Like, talk to his kids?
It would give him nightmares.
Like,
at least you think it would. Yeah,
I can only imagine, because kids literally say everything. I can only imagine him telling his friends on the playground, like, what he's been playing over the weekend. And now they're all traumatized. The whole fucking class just destroyed. So the other thing, the other reason I wanted to talk about this is because he says we don't need easy mode in every game. If my 5-year-old can do it, so can you. I know we've kind of talked about this before, but how do you guys feel about games like Bloodborne that are essentially created to be difficult? Do you think that there should be an easy mode for accessibility purposes? Do you think the game should stay hard as they are? Do you think they're developed that way and they should stay that way? What are your opinions on that?
I think that every game should have an easy mode. I like to play on easy, whatever, I don't care. For accessibility, it helps as well, but, like, just say you play it on hard if you want to look cool. I don't know. Like, I don't think that it's, like, taking away from the experience or something. I feel like once we start drawing lines in who can play games or whatever, like, then you can just be like, well, only straight white men can play my game, or only this or only that. Like, when do you start, like, telling, people who's allowed to play your game? I don't really feel like that's fair. If the game is supposed to be hard on purpose, I kind of get that, but, like, why? Just make it easy so everyone can play. I don't get it. I really don't understand the argument. I think that there should be easy mode for everything. I want easy mode for life. Like, can we just do that? Like, right. Easy mode driving, can I just not? I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're completely right, too. And it is just about accessibility. Just put in an easy mode. I love playing on easy. Just put in easy mode. It's fine. It's not going to ruin your gaming experience to add that in,
Brandon, Gabe? Gabe, I see you holding back. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
You first, Gabe. You have more to say.
As a Bloodborne,
I'm gonna sound like a dick.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna sound like a dick, but one of the reasons that these games, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, they're so hard is because there's a story to it. Like, for example, Bloodborne definitely has more of a story than any other Souls game besides, I would say, Sekiro. But, like, they're generally made hard because the entertainment, what the fun from the game comes from the challenge. And so, like, I understand if you want to make it easy for accessibility options, but you're not gonna get the full game in a sense because you're not, there's no story to focus on. Like, for example, Dark Souls, you can complete that game any way you want. Like, out of all the Souls-like games, that's the most non-linear one. And so you can, for example, me, I didn't know there was a fucking story to the first Dark Souls. I was like, cool, I have a sword and a shield. I have to go kill this giant gargoyle. Whoop-de-doo. And then you kind of start playing it, and all of a sudden, like, you go online to look up for some help, and there's like, oh, did you know this about this? And then it's like, it's more like in-depth research lore than an actual story. So I don't believe that games should, at least all games should have an accessibility, like, easy mode thing, because, again, it kind of takes from the game and the game experience. But then again, I sound like a dick because I'm saying, yeah,
I just don't
shouldn't
understand
have it.
how
Let's
it
not
takes
my fault.
away from the experience.
Because the thing is, that's the game, is the challenge that it brings. Because it's not Dark Souls. Souls games aren't puzzle games. Like, it's not like Legend of Zelda or Resident Evil, for example, where, there's action in it, but then you also have to figure out puzzles. It's literally just straight hack and slash. Look how cool I can be, not taking any damage. Or look how quickly I can finish this game, or look how, easily I did this boss, even though everyone struggles with it. Like, and for lack of better words, it's a very one-dimensional game. There's the only thing you need for that game is skill. You don't need, this is contradictory, you don't really need to put too much thought into the game, unless you're, like, timing a boss strike, or trying to, because I see some people, like, they'll aim a bow up into the air and then they'll shoot an arrow and then they'll lure an enemy or whatever. But, like, that's literally all it takes. There's no, I don't know. Like, again, like, the fact that there's no, like, actual story, no, like, linear, in-your-face story, there's not really much to the game except the challenge.
I don't have the skills to play it. Like, just,
and it sucks, but that's the thing. That's the thing, and it sucks because, like, okay, you know me. If I could, I would I would buy Dark Souls for everyone and let them enjoy those games. But the thing is, it gets to a point where, like, if the game's not for you because of the challenge, then game's just not for you, because that's what that game is. That's what those games are. Like Demon Souls, for example. I'm actually kind of sad that I, like, locked that game up for you, because do you play it now?
No, because that shit was hard.
Did you beat it? Exactly.
No,
that's the thing. It's not. You take away the hardness.
$70 to give up.
But let me ask you another question. Did you get any glimpse of a story? Do you understand what's going on?
I mean, there was something there. Yeah. I mean, I can confidently say that yes, there was, like, a purpose to that. I was talking to the NPCs. Like, yes, there was a story in that one.
Oh, you talked to the NPCs? Do
you not? Do you just let it go?
I talk to the ones I need to.
Well, there you go.
But that's the thing. Like, you talk, in the general hub. I don't remember what it's called right now because I also have stopped playing Demon Souls for a little bit because it should be kicking my ass. In there's a story, but, like, once you start the game itself, like, you're just trying not to die. Like, that's the whole thing, and you have no idea what's going on because, like, okay, spoiler alert. One of the first areas you go to.
Just kidding.
Oh, Jerel, it's the first area.
Just kidding.
One of the first areas you go to, you come in, you know that the surrounding land is at war. That's all you know. You come in, and then all of a sudden you're being attacked by dragons. Where the fuck did the dragons come from? At no point in the beginning of the story did the game say, yeah, the dragons came out of nowhere and started attacking. So then...
it's a video game. You're the one who said, suspend your belief for the story because you didn't make it to me the other day. So how about you do that?
He's like, well, no one told me there were going to be dragons.
Nobody said there was going to be a dragon here.
Maybe you should talk to more NPCs. I don't know.
Then maybe
there's no dragon NPC. Literally, when you go to the lands, there's your chance of meeting an NPC are like under 30% because the only NPCs there are shop sellers.
Hey, there were black people in the game, so I was happy.
Which I just have to go back into the original and see if changed that or not. This was
okay, so Gabe, the only thing I'm going to say to you about that is that they can make an easier mode, and I would still enjoy the challenge. Like, I'd still be happy that it took me a few tries to get over it, but I finally got over it. Does it have to be at the same level as what you're playing? Hell no, because I don't want to do that. But would I probably actually try to finish the game at that point? Yeah, maybe, if I knew I had a chance. But that's also why I don't buy those games. I completely understand what you're saying, because I do think that not every game is meant for everyone, and I also agree that I think Balan Wonderworld's a great example. Like, people shit on that game so much. I thought this is a great game for kids. I just don't think it's for everyone else. And because it wasn't for everyone, it scored really bad and did really bad. But I think there's an audience for that. And I think there's an audience for Dark Souls. And if people like spending $70 to die over and over again and then feel that challenge and then let their 5-year-olds play it for clout, why not?
Yeah.
So here's my question
the
then.
option too, right?
That's
like just
my
having
point.
the option
Yes.
of the easy mode. I
Yes.
think then you could have your normal way of playing Bloodborne, Dark Souls, whatever you want, but having the option there for an
Thank
easier
you.
mode is
And what's
just
wrong with the
a nice
option?
addition too. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that an
Okay,
option is
so
detracting
here's
from
my
this
question
game.
then, and this isn't like a fuck you question. It's like if you believe that every game should have an easy mode, do you also believe every game should have a hard mode?
Yeah, why not?
I don't believe Jerel for some reason, but just to move,
I know.
we can move on from that.
I know.
I'm
I would
moving on from
appreciate if Pokemon had hard modes.
Yeah, like
Pokemon's hard enough.
Just have the range of it.
I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
no. What?
Yeah.
Pokemon hasn't challenged me since Gen
No,
3, fam.
look.
What the hell?
When
Yeah.
you battle people like Jerel, it's hard. The game is disgustingly hard.
And
also
I'm
good.
talking about
Okay,
battles
well,
against
hold
other
on.
people.
We're
I'm talking
gonna
about the story.
We're talking about the story. We're gonna have to bring up. Is it Generation 4?
Yeah, 4 was considered hard, but I didn't finish the Gen 4 games. I know people talk about
I
Cynthia
tried.
a lot.
Was it?
People,
I can't remember. There was a game that I
yeah, I
couldn't
think
like.
it is Cynthia that you're probably talking about.
Yeah, 'cause it was
Cynthia
Platinum.
kicked people's
Pokemon
ass.
Platinum.
Yeah. So you
I
probably
didn't even
got.
get to Cynthia. I had a trouble
Oh.
with Elite Four because like the thing with that game is like you can't level up your Pokemon after a certain point. Like you get to Elite Four and the surrounding area is just weak Pokemon, and there's just I don't know.
Mm.
All I'm saying is that game is hard as shit. Pokemon is hard sometimes. Leave me alone.
The older
Well,
ones are,
there
yeah.
should be. See, don't you think there should be an easy mode for babies?
Oh, because
Like
if
you?
that's the case, the game's not for me. For babies, man.
Pokemon's not
sir.
for you. Come on, it's for everybody.
Listen, sir.
I wanna-
According to that guy, that I'm sorry, I'm kind of moving ahead. There's another topic we're going to be talking about. Apparently, Pokemon is only for children.
Okay.
Anyways, I want to talk real quick about this before we move on from the subject. Most of what I was going to say, you guys already stated, so I'll just mention this. There's literally the tweet saying that, hey, if my 5-year-old can do it, you can do it, or whatever. That's BS. Like, just age is not an indicator of skill. Some kids are absolute beasts at certain games, and some adults are just absolute trash at certain games. And you know what? That doesn't even matter, because some people don't, like we were talking about, like, not every game is for everyone. Man, some people are only like visual novels. Why are you, and you're bullying them saying my 5-year-old could be Bloodborne? It's like, the person that plays the visual novels, like, how do you play those games? What the hell are you coming at me for? So I'm like, that entire tweet meant nothing to me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because, like, okay, your 5-year-old's really good at games. Awesome. Be proud, but that's...
Yeah, like, don't bring other people
That's
down. While
that's
they're-
not-
Yeah,
that's
to
not-
be fair, I don't agree with what he said. I don't like the way he said that about my 5-year-old can beat it, which first of all, you shouldn't be playing it because the game is rated M
Right,
for
we said
mature,
that.
not E for everybody.
Yeah.
But then the way he's like, I don't know, I feel like he's one of those guys. It's just, if you meet him out in the street, you're gonna want to punch him.
Also, I felt like it was just so elitist. I was like, you just put your child.
Very
elitist.
It was, yeah.
If
Very
I just
elitist.
see this little 5-year-old, like, fuck you, kid. You can beat Bloodborne, right? Like, I obviously would not do that. Like,
It's not even the kid's fault. That's the worst
but that's
part
what
about
I
this.
mean, right? Like, I obviously wouldn't do that, but, like, you're literally putting a target on your 5-year-old, going after games journalists, telling him games shouldn't, like,
That's what I'm
be
saying.
hard
I'm
for
like,
you. Like, bruh, God, he should be playing Pokemon. Pokemon's great. Everybody should play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
I was gonna say that Pokemon may be easy now, but that's a very different genre too. So that's exactly what I'm saying. You could be like great at RPGs and terrible at action games, and vice versa. It's just how it is.
I'm not even horrible at Demon Souls. I just don't care to keep trying. I don't have the time. But I really don't.
You just gave up.
I did, because I was like, how many hours do I want to put into Demon Souls? And that is a game that, you know, like Gabe said, it requires skill. And it's like, how much effort do I want to put into growing skills to play this game? And the answer is not that much. Like, I have big JRPGs to play right now that I know I'm about to put 150 hours in. I have maybe 5 hours for Demon Souls. If I can't beat the game in 5 hours, I probably shouldn't be playing it.
There you go.
Which is a horrible, horrible example. So I take it all back. I didn't say anything. So speaking of Pokemon, you guys have you guys played Pokemon Snap? I know I haven't. Brandon has.
Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
Pokemon what?
Pokemon
Snap? Oh yes, I have. I couldn't do it.
Everyone's like, no, Brandon's like,
That was so intense.
no, it was like 2 podcasts ago. He was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna get it?" And I was like, "Fuck no."
I was literally the only one that was saying I'm going to get the game, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just talk for myself then. Yeah,
so I
was
love
it.
it. It was my first time playing it. I think it's super cute.
Ooh, I'm glad you like it.
I do. I can see myself probably getting bored in the future. I'm probably already bored.
Sure.
But it's super cute. Like, it's adorable. And one thing that I think we can all agree on for anyone who's seen the trailer of it is that it looks really freaking good. This is probably the best Pokemon has ever looked. Gabe, don't bring up the other conversation. This is probably the best Pokemon has ever looked.
Oh no, but Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I just said don't bring it up. I just said
I'm
don't
bring it up.
Continue.
I told you
Jerel,
at the beginning
continue.
of today. I will
continue
on everything.
So there's an article at nintendosmash.com titled "Pokemon Players Want Bandai Namco to Replace Game Freak After New Pokemon Snap" by Shamsuddin. Published a few days ago. And I'm not going to go into this article. I think the title pretty much says it all. As we all know, Game Freak is the developer of Pokemon, not Bandai Namco, but Bandai Namco developed Pokemon Snap. They also did that Pokemon Tekken game, whatever the name of it
Tournament.
is. Thank you. Thank you. They also did Pokemon Tournament, which people said looks really good. So my question to you guys is, how do you feel about players requesting that a company that basically creates this franchise not be in charge of the franchise because it looks better when someone else does it?
I want to just say this real quick, because I think people are asking Bandai Namco to make Pokemon for the wrong reasons. And that reason is because Pokemon Snap and Pokemon look so good. And they assume that if Bandai Namco was to take the reins and make the next, mainline Pokemon game, that it would look that good for the whole way. And that is not necessarily true, because as we've talked about on this podcast, the reason why, Snap looks the way it does and Sword and Shield looks the way it does is because Sword and Shield has to incorporate like hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon, while Snap was maybe like, I don't know the exact number in Snap, but I can't imagine it numbers over like 200. So that's a lot less Pokemon, and they can focus more on like the animations and the graphics. I can tell you as a promise, especially with Bandai Namco RPG games, not saying they look ugly, because a lot of Bandai Namco RPGs look pretty good. But if they had to render suddenly like
400
hundreds of
Pokemon,
it would suddenly not look quite as good as their other works, is what I'm saying. Now, that being said, graphics aside, if we're talking about the prospect of Bandai Namco making a Pokemon RPG, I don't think they would do a horrible job, because again, if they have the right team, they have had people that have made good RPGs. What? Bandai Namco, yeah. Bandai Namco, let me finish. Okay. Bandai Namco is capable of doing a good RPG. I wouldn't want them to be replacing Game Freak. I'm just saying, you know what? Let me back up a little bit, because there have been 2 other developers that have made, Pokemon RPGs. One is Genius Sonority. They made the Coliseum and Pokemon XD for GameCube. And those are very different Pokemon games, but they're fine. And now we know that the Diamond Pearl remix is not even being made by Game Freak. They're being remade by another company while Game Freak works on Legends Arceus, right? Mm-hmm. So, if we were to requisition Bandai Namco to make like a side game for Pokemon with the same core mechanics to be an RPG, I think that'd be fine. I don't think Game Freak is I think they know the Pokemon franchise best, but they're not necessarily the only ones that could make a Pokemon RPG, I don't think, replacement is not the word I would personally have them say, but I think working on side by side, the Pokemon company has clearly shown that they're now open to that if they're even letting another developer make a core Pokemon game with Diamond and Pearl. So if Bandai Namco wants to make their own Pokemon game that's like these core ones, go for it. I'm just saying people are going to have their expectations too high if they think that Pokemon game is going to look like new Pokemon Snap. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. So the question still remains, how do you guys feel about players requesting a different developer for a game, right? Like people literally asking Bandai Namco to make Pokemon, even though it's Game Freak's fucking game.
Right.
Fandoms can just get so intense.
Yeah,
you know,
they can.
and there's such a line there where it's like, I get you want that, but also you are not in control of this situation, and you need to step down a bit.
Oh my god, I completely agree.
It's a lack of objectivity. I see people see good thing and they just make assumptions and they don't actually know what the actual process would be to make thing happen.
Man.
They jump from A to Z real quick.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It also sucks for the developers because, like, you read the article and you're like, well, goddamn, like, I've been putting this out for you for years and years, and all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck you guys. Yeah,
it's
like, I mean, come on, man.
Appreciation for the process.
Exactly.
And then also, I don't think it's fair, like, at this point, if we hadn't gotten that Pokemon, again, I forgot the name of it, the Pokemon Legends Arceus game announcement, you know, if we wouldn't have gotten that, like, maybe I could have seen where fans were coming from, but, like, at the same point, we also have that to look forward to. Like, you can't sit here and be like, oh, yeah, you know, Bandai makes it look better. Like, Pokemon's upgrading. And, you know, given it took them forever, but they're upgrading. And the Pokemon Arceus game, Legends, it looks nice. It looks like it's, you know, it's taking a little lesson from the Bandai Snap game. Like, okay, let's, you know, give it a more realism type look, while also keeping true to Pokemon. Obviously, we haven't seen... Is Game Freak not making that game?
Game Freak is making Legends Arceus.
Okay, because Jerel did like this weird like thing, and I was like, "Am I wrong?"
No, I'll say why in a second.
Why what?
I did that.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, but like I just feel like for the developers, it's like it's a really low blow. Like
it is, yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't say that about like the developers of Legend of Zelda, which I mean, given it is Nintendo, but like I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like. You know, change companies or something, or give it to a smaller group because you guys don't know how to make games anymore. I mean, albeit I did say that during Wind Waker, but we've passed that now.
Yes, you've grown a lot, Gabe. I grow.
If I was a developer at Game Freak and I read that, I'd be like, give them 5 Pokemon. That's it. The whole game, just 5 Pokemon.
All they get.
That's all they get. They don't get to go anywhere. 1 island, 5 Pokemon, get fucked. That's all you get the whole game because you guys are such assholes. The reason I did this is because I was trying to think of games that Bandai Namco has that are either RPGs or that feature diverse casts. And legitimately, I can't think of a single one.
Cat is the problem there for sure. Like they have good RPGs, but they don't have the first cast.
It's funny
at all.
So that's. Yeah.
Because, like, when you look up Bandai Namco RPGs, it gives you, like, all types of RPGs.
Yeah,
so, like, when Brandon was done talking, like, I was gonna get ready to smack about Bandai, but Dark Souls is Bandai Namco. So, but, like, the other thing...
Go ahead, sorry.
The other thing I was gonna say was, like, yeah, Bandai Namco, like, made the game look pretty, and Brandon, you know, brought up the thing about, you know, they don't have to render as many Pokemon as, you know, as they have to. And I've seen instances where Bandai is tasked with bringing, you know, a big cast of characters. And while the game did look pretty, the story itself was hot garbage. Like, I don't know if anyone's played Jump Force.
No.
No. But Jump Force is, you know, it's a big celebration of fighting games and anime, and it has all the big name anime characters you can think of: Goku, Vegeta, you know, and even the newer ones like what the hell's his name? Gio, the guy from JoJo.
Giorno Giovanna, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. And like the game looks amazing. And you know, obviously Bandai Namco doesn't own, you know, any of those names. The game looks amazing. The gameplay itself and the story is like hot garbage. So like Brandon was saying, in the long run, there's a good chance Bandai is just going to be like, I mean, the game looks pretty, but you know, who cares what the story is? Just keep bringing it out. And then we're going to get another instance of Pokemon fans going like, oh, give it back to Game Freak.
That's what I'm saying.
We were wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Bandai Namco, and that's all I was saying. Bandai Namco is certainly capable of making some beautiful stuff, but Jump Force is a wonderful example of how you can go the other way with that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna bring this conversation back to diversity because that's what I do.
Go for it.
Sorry, guys. So I was trying to think of any game that Bandai Namco has that has like a diverse cast, and I honestly like that's what I was looking at. I can't find any. I was super excited for Tales of Arise, and I saw like the 4 characters. I was like, damn, they are pale as fuck. No offense, guys. But I was like,
we're talking about RPGs. We're talking about
it's
RPGs
true.
specifically, right?
Yeah. Correct
We're talking
me,
about
please,
RPGs
Brandon.
specifically, right?
Yes. RPGs.
Okay, yes, RPGs. No diversity.
And I always think that Game Freak does an amazing job, or at least they have been doing an amazing job with inclusions. First, from adding female playable characters, and then every game goes further and further to being more and more inclusive. Right? Game Freak is just. I love Pokemon Sword and Shield. I mean, if you just look at the array of trainers in that video game, it's amazing that this is happening. And I just think once you pass that off to someone else, I think a lot of those, obviously you might have, the same character developer, I don't know. But a lot of those nuances that make a difference for Pokemon being so inclusive, I think can get lost in, if the people who are behind it aren't the people that have the same type of attitude. And so I always get kind of fuzzy or iffy when I hear that a developer is passing the reins on to someone else, because you always want to make sure that the intention is there and the aspect of what you want is kept together, and it can get lost. Even if you're working with someone, if I'm giving Kellie like I want you to do this and that, and she's like, this makes no sense to me, Jerel, like what the fuck are you talking about? And so what she gives is not going to be what I thought, right? No matter how much I try to make it that, and I think when you do something like this, you kind of just, like you guys have already said, you kind of just shit on the people who have done such a good job. Like, I think the UI and Sword and Shield was really pretty. I think it was sophisticated. I think it was grown up. I think shut the fuck up, Gabe. I see you rolling your eyes. I think, like, Pokemon has come a very long way. Like, look at the UI from the old games on DS compared to Sword and Shield now. Like, they do have a lot of issues, but it's much more stylistic. Like, things just look better. Things are becoming better. So, and not only that, Game Freak is literally giving people what they asked for. People have been asking for an open world Pokemon game for forever, and they're like, hey, shut the fuck up here, take it. Like, and what are we doing? We want fucking Bandai to do it.
Oh, actually, to go off of that, people have also been asking for the Gen 4 remake, and all of a sudden they remake it, and they're like, no, this isn't what I fucking wanted.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
It's like, bro.
I won't.
Like, I understand, but the thing is, to me, I think the reason I don't like that, like, everyone got mad at that remake was because it's still keeping, like, it's still keeping, like, the, how is it the word? Like, the theme of the old Pokemon game that's being made from. Yeah, like, it's still, like, the chibi style. It's not, this new, it's not the Sword and Shield, art style where, like, you get your long, lanky people. It's, it's what the Pokemon game look. I'm sorry. It's what the Pokemon game looked like. I was thinking about Hop, because Hop is just people. Long and lanky. Hop is long and lanky.
Bruh, I was like, okay, never mind. I won't go on about Hop and his brother and all the beautiful, colorful people in the game. Sorry.
There was so much good diversity in Sword and Shield.
I was very happy. I was very happy. Were you done?
Yeah, but like that was it. Like that was it. Like they got the remake, and all of a sudden they started crying about it. Like, bro, make up your fucking mind.
Well, that's because people are never satisfied. You know who
There's
else?
always something that they cry about online.
Always.
There's always something.
Do you know who else is never satisfied? Activision Blizzard.
Oh, segue guy, let's go.
What a segue.
Thank you. So Blizzard loses millions of monthly players, but is still making more money. They made more money from fewer players in the first quarter of 2021. This is from GameSpot.com by Eddie Mac. Sorry, Eddie. And they go over Activision Blizzard's latest earning report, which he says was an overall positive story for the mega publisher, with the company improving revenue and profit compared to last year. So I start by saying, Kellie, this is for you, because I know that you recently quit World of Warcraft.
I did.
I think the guy's name is Asmongold. I think he's like this really big WoW person who talks about it all the time. He was also mentioning how disappointed he was in WoW currently. Is there like a specific reason that you stopped playing WoW, or just like you were just not into it anymore?
My WoW career was very short-lived anyways. I only started playing in December. I don't even know why. I have no idea. I just downloaded the game. And I started playing and I was obsessed, but I was playing alone, you know? And like, I've watched some of my friends play, and if you're playing competitively, which they were, like if you're doing raids, like, they were like, this, I don't know, there was this guy like yelling at them, and I was like, this is terrible.
Oh, no!
Like, it was like so like, I don't know how raids work, but I'm guessing it was like the leader was like, shut up, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, what the fuck? What? No one's telling me to shut up while I'm supposed to be enjoying something.
Yeah.
It's not happening. But I stopped playing because I was playing a lot alone, and also like $15 a month for like Toontown. The graphics are so bad. Like, it's so old. I don't know. I kind of wish that they would just make a new World of Warcraft game.
Yeah.
So that we could just, like, start fresh and new, because I don't really get it, and I didn't get it, and no one was ever going to explain it to me or include me at all, so I was like, you know, I'm done. I'm done trying to fit into this little square hole with my circle self. It's not gonna happen, so I gave up.
I love that you
But they had some of my money.
Town. That was great.
That's what it looks like.
That's so great. But I actually thank you for saying that, you know, it's not a very, I guess, inclusive situation, and, you know, trying to, like you said, fit your square into a circle, whatever you said. You said it.
I said something.
Yeah. But of course, Blizzard also recounted massive numbers for Call of Duty, because I think everybody just at some point
I bought it twice.
Well, there you go. She was like, fuck wow, but I'm still giving you my money.
You still get Call of Duty from me, it's fine.
Yeah. Get that Call of Duty paycheck.
What? I need it on my Xbox and my PC. Come on.
Is it not like,
more power to you,
isn't it one of those, you don't own it on, you have to buy it on both?
Well, I bought it from, because I didn't buy it through Xbox on my PC. I wanted me and my boyfriend to play together, so we couldn't play on the same account. So I couldn't just... Listen, I tried.
I did not want to pay you guys again.
I tried to get it I tried to do all kinds of shit, but it did not work. So, here we are. I bought it twice. No regrets. Anyways.
Okay, I've done that. I did that with Disco Elysium too. I have it on PC and then I have it on PlayStation, so I totally get the double buying thing.
I still want to play that game. I bought Tomb Raider on PS4 and then I bought it again. And then they gave it for free on PS Plus. And I was like, I'm such an idiot. Like, I own this game 3 times now. What's wrong with me? I also own Final Fantasy VII on digital and physical because of reasons. But to continue to speak on Call of Duty.
Judging.
I'm with you.
I can't
No judgment.
judge. Skyrim.
Oh yeah, you own Skyrim on like every possible.
Everything you play it on, I own it on.
Oh yeah, I just found out. I too own Skyrim. Apparently, who knew? It's on Steam. In my library.
It's getting to the point where now people are accidentally getting Skyrim.
I was like,
honestly, yeah. Wait, honestly,
it's gonna be like that YouTube album that just
yes, on everyone's phone.
Just showed up on our phones one day.
That's literally what it was. I was like, I don't own Skyrim. Like, why is it a part of my Steam library? This is so crazy. But also, speaking of Call of Duty, Activision has severed links with the Call of Duty Ghost voice actor following his misogynistic comments from Eurogamer.net by Vicky Blake. It says, and I quote, Activision has cut ties with Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Ghost voice actor Jeff Leach following the dissemination of a video that compiles his misogynistic comments. The montage, which was shared online by streamers hitting back at Leach's derogatory statements, is described as containing serious, personalized, intrusive sexism, and it shows Leach using sexually explicit and aggressive language, as well as personal insults. According to Charlie Intel via Reset Era, Activision has now severed its links with Leach. In a statement, the company said, sexism has no place in our industry, our games, or in society. Activision is no longer working with Jeff Leach. We strongly We strongly condemn We strongly condemn these remarks. What a fuck up.
That changes the whole story real quick.
We strongly condemn these remarks. We're committed to delivering a fun and safe experience for all players. Leash himself has responded to the video by calling it targeted character assassination. And when challenged about his behavior, he said he mocked a hateful, toxic troll who came into my community chat to attack me and my community. And he has done the same to men who think that internet trolling and toxic behavior are clever. I'm a stand-up comic. You made this a gender-related issue and took it out of context. This should go without saying, but anyone who sends threatening messages is not representative of me or my community, and I do not condone this in any way. So that was his response. He said, look, bitches, I didn't do this. I was going after a Twitter troll, and this has turned into some ridiculous sexist nonsense. I don't know. I personally did not see what he said, but my question to you guys is, do you think that, first of all, if you're a public figure and you're working in video games and there's a troll in your chat, like let's say you're on Twitch and there's a troll in your chat, do you think that repeating what the troll is saying and mocking them is a good idea, one? And two, do you think if someone records a VOD of you doing it that you should get punished for it?
I don't know. I've never really repeated the stuff that trolls have said to me. I have had my fair share of trolls. I normally go with a safe, never mind. I don't even want to say what I say to trolls. I haven't had one in a while. I have fun. I don't repeat what they say. But I don't know if the VOD of something that you said taken out of context like that, repeating, like, if you're, like, reading a comment and someone just takes that and says, look, I don't know, it'd be like someone taking, like, you doing an audiobook of something and being like, look what he, like, that's just just reading something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Severus Snape just because I read out loud a paragraph of a Harry Potter book or something. Okay, there's probably nothing that offensive in Harry Potter, to be honest.
There is, but you never know.
Yeah, Mudblood. Yeah, Mudblood.
Okay, don't be shouting
anyways, no, I always go to Harry Potter. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what was said, even. I'm trying to find it, because I'm just like,
Yeah. There was a video clip that was embedded in that article, I think, that had, like, a bunch of those clips stitched together, and I made it about 10 seconds in before completely shutting it off. I mean, he gets pretty vitriolic, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you need to calm down. This is a tad bit intense.
So I'll ask you then, Hannah. Do you think that what Activision Blizzard did was fine, having seen the video?
I think so. Yeah, I think that he acted way out of line, and his comments were pretty horrific in my mind. So I do think that they took a good step forward in that end.
That's interesting. I see. I agree with you, but I think it's so interesting for him to come out and say, no, I was totally, it wasn't me. Like, I was just reading what they said. Stop trying to make this sexist. It's not that, like...
No, yeah, but it's the way he repeats it, but also he adds in things at the end to get back at them in different ways, and it's just one of those things where you can kind of get a good feel of what his attitude is like and who he is as a person, yeah.
There's this is gonna be the weirdest comparison, but there's like a line from Digimon the movie where like people are reading hate mail to Ty, the main character, and Izzy's reading them, but he doesn't tell Ty that he's reading the hate mail. He just starts reading it aloud. He's like, "Your Digimon is a loser. How could one Digimon lose to one last bug? One Greymon crit like a coward." He starts slapping. He's like, "You take that back." It's like, "I was just reading the letters," and then Ty's like, "I didn't have to read it so well."
I mean, that comparison makes sense, right? Like, if you're really into it, I'm like, why are you okay there, buddy? Like, this is a little much. Yeah. A little too far.
Yeah.
I just watched part of the video. Oh my god. Yeah. Like, I would hit someone. I would physically assault someone for saying shit to me.
Yeah, so it's not just a matter of him repeating things from trolls. He has
No, this is not repeating. Yeah. I don't care what someone says to you. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, fuck you. I hope you never get another fucking job, you piece of shit.
That is live reaction to Kellie watching the video. That was cool.
True. Mm-hmm.
Gabe, did you want to say anything before I move on?
No, I'm
Bro, can you imagine, like, I obviously don't know how much voice actors get paid for Call of Duty, but, like, with the amount of money that Activision Blizzard has, I assume it's a nice pretty penny. I would never jeopardize my job with fucking Call of Duty, ever. I don't care what anyone says to me. There's no fucking way that I would let go of a contract like that. Like, y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say, y'all not paying the bills. I would never, ever, ever do that. This is so ridiculous to me, but his apology is apparently trash, according to, knowing what he said about it. So I'm just gonna move on after that one. Piece of shit, dude. So I thought this was really cool. I didn't know this was a thing, but the Tribeca Film Festival has honored 8 upcoming titles as part of its first official selection for video games. So this is the first time that the Tribeca Film Festival has ever had video games in it. And those games include 12 Minutes, The Big Con, Harold Halibut, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, or Kena, I forgot how to pronounce it, I'm so sorry.
I think it's Kena.
Lost
Kena,
in
yeah.
Random, Norco, Sable, and Signalis. And this article is from Game Informer, written by Marcus Stewart. And it says, Tribeca is positioning this move as the launch of a broader initiative for spotlighting video games as interactive art. In a press release, Tribeca Festival co-founder and CEO Jane Rosenthal states that for over a decade, our mission has been to be a catalyst for placing games and their creators at the forefront of mainstream and artistic culture alongside film, TV, and VR AR. We continue to embrace the cross-pollination and intersection of these storytellers with this year's Tribeca Games official selections. And this is just the beginning. So I thought this was super, super cool. Do you guys think that there's any video game that you have played in the past that deserves to be a part of the Tribeca Film Festival? Just for the game as it is. Mm-hmm.
Well, just for the game as it is, so like,
like for its story.
I just want clarification. Did these games get chosen for the film festival because of their art style, or was it just the game themselves?
Well, these games were awarded honors an upcoming game for its potential for excellence in art and storytelling through design, artistic mastery, and highly immersive worlds.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Well, if those were specifically chosen for art, that's one thing. So if we're talking about like just games in general that deserve to be artwork, like I'm sorry, just for a film festival honoring art and such like that, as games are a form of art in itself. I would think that I know this is kind of like a non-committal answer, but I would think that any game that wins like enough awards in like from enough people would be worthy of being considered for that award. I'm just saying, like for example. Obviously, a lot of people are divided on the story, The Last of Us Part 2, but it did win a lot of awards and a lot of people did resonate with a lot of people. And I would think that, like, for example, if there's a 2020 version of this where games got in, that would certainly be up for consideration, no question, no doubt. That and maybe like another highly rated game like Ghost of Tsushima, for example.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
What about a game like Breath of the Wild, where you don't have the story in your face, right? Like, you have to actively go out and seek the story for this game. So like if you were trying to represent it as a film, it would be kind of difficult because you don't have like a beginning, middle, and end. Would that still be considered?
That's the thing. Are we considering it as a form of like, are we considering the game purely because of storytelling, or just because of the quality of the game itself?
Well, for design, artistic mastery, and highly immersive worlds, and storytelling through its design.
And storytelling through its design. If that's a specific criteria, then maybe Breath of the Wild wouldn't, just because of that specific criteria. Hold on, Gabe. Gabe, let me finish. Let me finish, Gabe. Gabe, yes, Breath of the Wild has a storytelling, and it does weave it through its gameplay as you explore the different areas. However, if we're talking about a game that's like specifically in your face, like telling you like a story, like from start to finish, then I would think a game like Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2 would. Now, that being said, I don't think that means Breath of the Wild has a bad story. I don't, because I think in that regards there is a story, and it is told well the story. It's just not told in the traditional way that a film would. But I think that's actually to its strength, because games are not supposed to be just emulating other forms of art. It's supposed to be its own thing. There's no when it comes to games and movies too, but especially in games, there's no one right way to tell a story. There's a myriad ways you could tell it, and people will experience those story beats in different ways, especially with a game like Breath of the Wild. Hell, depending on what memory you go to, you could hear the story in completely different order, and you'll still get the complete story if you decide to get it. So, this is more of a commentary saying if their criteria, Breath of the Wild probably wouldn't, but I'm saying it should.
I think it's also not surprising because the video game industry is outdoing the movie industry by like tons. So I think this is
Exactly.
totally
And
not
that's
surprising that they're trying to add video games to the film festival.
and yeah, and then for that reason, they should definitely be considering what makes a certain game so special, why it is so popular with people, and that its merits in that case should be cherished, not looked down because it's not doing the same thing a blockbuster movie would do, right?
No, I don't think it is. And I think when you look at storytelling through design, artistic mastery, and highly immersive worlds, I mean, Breath of the Wild does have those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just asked because it was a game that got a lot of awards, and I was like, how would you present that at the Tribeca Film Festival? But I guess you would present it in that manner because it has this amazing
as it is
world building. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what games would you guys like to see added to this list, or past, or present, or future?
I mean, I was in the same boat with Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, too. I mean, games like that are kind of perfect for a festival like that, where you have a really good narrative. It's beautiful to look at. There's a lot that makes it really festival-worthy. So any game in that kind of category, I feel like, would really be perfect for any type of festival like that.
So no Xbox games? I mean, nobody's mentioned an Xbox game. I'm just
put me on the spot here now.
I'm just saying, in general.
Yeah. I've spent so much time with PlayStation, like, especially for the past week, that now I'm trying to rifle through Xbox exclusives, but...
I would think, I would love to see something like Nier Automata or God of War on there. Like, I think that those games, games with multiple story endings, I think would be super cool to present to people who aren't necessarily gamers at like a film festival, because those games are, those worlds are rather immersive. Or even something...
God of War, especially.
I still haven't played it.
Really?
Oopsie!
Oh, it's so good.
I have so many games to play. Or even something like... I'm trying to, I obviously don't know the story of Village, but I think Resident Evil Village, I think, would be a really cool addition to
it really would.
this list.
Yeah.
Just off of the clips that I've seen, because it looks like there's some shit going on in that game. And it looks a lot of fun, like campy, hilarious, scary. Like, I feel like it mixes a lot of things that movies do into a video game. So I think that would be really cool.
And it has really beautiful scenery, too.
Oh, yeah.
It has the blood and gore, obviously. It's gorgeous to look at. The mountains, the castle, everything.
What are you guys playing on?
I'm on PS4.
So I saw a tweet about how bad the textures are on Xbox. I was going to ask if you guys knew, but obviously you're playing on Xbox.
No.
I don't know because I'm not playing it at all. Okay, I was just curious. Gabe, is there a game that you would add to this list? Breath of the Wild 2?
So, before I go to Breath of the Wild, there's actually a couple of games. I think the three most recent Assassin's Creed games, Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla, those are really good games. I mean, I feel like they fit all that criteria, and unlike Breath of the Wild, there is that linear story of you can find everything that pertains to the story. My fourth one would be It Takes Two. So
yes,
I have not shut up about this game.
Big agree.
Yeah,
I haven't shut up about this game, but this game is a true co-op platform game. It when I say that, I mean you literally cannot play the game solo. But it's a story about. Spoiler alert! It's a story about two divorcing adults and their child, for some weird, unexplained reason, has magical tears. And she cries about the divorce, and she made these two toys of her that have the likeness of her parents, and they come to life. And then, basically, what the rest of the game is you're adventuring as these two, and you're learning new stuff about each other. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a.
I only recently started playing it.
I'm
saying,
I think that game, for what it is and for how obviously it's not one of your main. It's not like one of your main games of 2021. You think 2021, you're thinking about the Master Chief Collection. You're thinking about whatever came out earlier this year. I already forgot because I have bad memory. If you're a Nintendo fan, you're thinking about anything Pokemon or anything Zelda. Fingers crossed, coming out this year. So, so, It Takes Two. But when I do, I'm never gonna shut up about it.
Never.
Yeah, I'm not. So, and like, it's just like that game for what it is. Like, okay, I'm gonna explain it this way, so I don't spoil anything. Remember as a kid when you would look at things, like for example, you look at a cuckoo clock, and you would imagine this massive world in there, or like you look at a tree, or when you're driving down the road.
I was like, what child has a cuckoo clock? That is so strange.
I mean, I think we're all at the age
You had a
where
cuckoo
our
clock?
grandparents were. Let me.
You did, Hannah? You had a cuckoo
Our
clock?
No, I'm just laughing.
Oh, okay. I was like, who has a cuckoo
The
clock?
between you two is
This
making
is
me laugh.
crazy.
No.
grandparents had cuckoo clocks.
One that like came out like really?
Not necessarily, but like
Oh,
the ones
okay.
that-
To be
the
that
ones that-
necessarily, like, there was like a cat one that had like
Yeah.
a tongue or something,
Oh,
just
that's so
weird
cool
shit.
that-
But,
people have
I'm gonna
those.
use the other example because
Okay, I'm so
apparently
sorry.
I was too hip for cuckoo clocks. Like when you're going, you're driving down the road where you see like this big massive tree and like you imagine like you have like this little character running around the tree or like going inside, and, like inside the tree is just this massive world. That's what the game is. It's everything you imagined as a kid. Like for example, when I used to look at a TV, I used to think what was happening in the TV, there was a very miniature version of it happening inside the TV box. And that's what that game is like. I feel like it brings a child's imagination to life, but it's so well written and the gameplay is so much fun because it's a rated teen game. So, it's for teens and older.
Which is so interesting.
I thought the same thing, but then when you play it, you understand why.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that game, it's just, it has so many themes that I feel like movies have, and it's just so, like, the storytelling is so good because it's not like it's not one character telling the story. It's, it's a group of characters telling the story. And then, like, the design of the game itself is just out of this world. Like, again, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil any future levels or anything, but, like, the way it was designed is so good.
Yeah, I mean,
And then,
Mhm.
no, go ahead.
I was
'Cause I was
say
going to move on.
that there's a hilarious part with and I'm not gonna spoil this either, but there are squirrels in this game, and I was like, what the
gosh.
fuck is
Bro,
going
the
on?
The squirrel part was so
Yeah, what's going
weird and
on?
so funny.
Like,
Like,
this is crazy.
we're playing the game, and my cousin's sitting there, he goes, I love this game, but if I was on psychedelics, I would not be enjoying this right now. And I'm like, you know what? I can see that.
Right?
I can see that.
And it's so crazy to me also that it was rated T for teen because none of the advertisement for this game made me understand what the game was about. Like, none of it, like, even remotely made it seem like it was what it was. So when I started playing it, I was like, is that what this game is?
Yeah.
This is completely different from anything that I thought it was. And I don't know whether that works or not for people. I have been talking to people, because I like the game as well. I'm not finished. I'm really close to the beginning. But I know that some people have been complaining about the book character, saying that he was a little bit too much of a caricature and he might seem a little racist. I don't know about that. I have no opinion on that. But Gabe, I will ask you how you felt about him since you finished the game.
There was some parts from, like, I almost picked up my phone to see, like, what the background of the book was. Like, obviously with the name, his last name, Dr. Hakim. I didn't think it was a Mexican book. But then he started talking.
I was like, what? Sir?
And, like, there's some stuff. Like, I'm glad they didn't do, like, over the top, like, the book had a sombrero every time he fucking talked to you.
I mean,
like,
you might as well.
But, like, there's like, he had some lines where I'm like, you could have done with saying that in English. You didn't have to say it in that weird Spanish/English accent that you have, dude. Again, since the story is told by so many different characters, like, I kind of pushed that aside a little bit because, like, I was enjoying the game completely. Like, when it was May and Cody,
diversity so you can enjoy the game.
I'm not gonna get into that yet. When it was May and Cody telling the story, like, obviously, like, they didn't. I'm also glad they didn't say anything that would be questionable to the book. Like, at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I did think Cody was gonna, like, say something like, "Oh, why don't you eat, like, a burrito or something and leave us alone?" Because I definitely felt that vibe from those two, but I'm glad he didn't. But then again, actually, really quick, who plays the book?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna talk while also hitting Google So of course, it's just going to bring up a bunch of doctor's places, so I'm going to move past that. And now I'm going to talk about why Breath of the Wild would actually be a very good consideration for these awards. Brandon brought up the point of where you, and also Jerel agreed to this, where you don't, there's no linear story to follow. This is why you're wrong. Because at the beginning, this is why, this is the wrong part, because there actually is a linear story to follow, and it starts obviously in the Great Plateau. The king tells you where to go. You go to Impa. What does Impa tell you to do? Impa doesn't tell you to run towards Ganondorf. She tells you to look at the memories. She tells you to look at the memory. Okay. And the memories they're actually numerically ordered for you. Like, it's not, they're scattered around. So there is actually a very linear story you can follow. There is a beginning. It's Link waking up from 100 years of being useless and being asleep. And then there's the middle of finding the memories, going to the Divine Beast. Then there's the end of fighting Ganon at the end. And if I'm able to make an entire YouTube series out of it, that's a story, in my opinion. Because it's not like, you're also going to be wrong because it's Zelda, and we know how you are with Zelda. So, because...
But I also disagree, but continue.
Well, you're also going to be wrong just because you side with Jerel this time.
I'm not siding for Jerel for the reasons you think, though.
No, so, because, the thing is, yes, you can play that game any way you want, but at the same time, there is a very clear, concise story that you can follow. And I'm going to pass it over to Brandon first, because I know Brandon's not going to push my high pressure.
So
no, all I was going to say is you're absolutely right. Those memories are numbered. However, they're not numbered on the map, so you could totally get them out of order, which is 100% what I did.
Thank you, Brandon.
I see what you're saying. It is a linear story because there is an order to these. It's not like they just happen sporadically. It's just that the game doesn't necessarily guide you like, okay, here's memory 1, here's memory 2, here's memory 3. And that also is tied to the fact that the Divine Beasts themselves have memories associated with them too. So even if you ignore all the memories in the game and only get the Divine Beast, you're getting a segment of the story. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, they are numbered, but they don't tell you what the number is. So after getting them all, watched them in order afterwards. So that was I've seen them all twice.
To me, that's the immersion part, though, because
there's always going to be an excuse, right?
Yes, it's Zelda. You know how I am with Zelda. That's the immersion part for me, because you have the choice of not exploring the map to find them in order. What I did was I opened up the map first. I went to every tower, and I found them. And then when you look at the pictures, you're like, oh, I remember this from climbing to that tower. So to me, that's the immersion part, because it's not like you're just going down willy-nilly throughout the map.
Hannah, have you played Breath of the Wild?
Finished it.
Same. Kellie, have you played Breath of the Wild?
But I'll get there one day.
I have not started nor finished it.
Alright, in that case, I'm moving on.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. One more. There's one more. Now that I mentioned it. Because if you're going to put Breath of the Wild in, Age of Calamity has to go in too. And you can't tell me that one's not linear. That one's very linear. Okay, yeah, it's because you haven't finished the game. You haven't played the game yet.
Because I'm not finished with Breath of the Wild!
Which you've been telling me for the past year.
Well, you know what? If the game wasn't so damn big and it was linear, I would have been done. But no, it's explore everything. And I'm like, I don't have time to
just say you suck at the game.
They need an easy mode.
They need an easy mode.
It
That's linear.
is an easy mode. It has an easy mode. You put the difficulty to easy, so...
Thank you. No, they need an easy mode that's linear, right? And it's just
that's
go here,
different game.
do this, and I'm like, yes, that's all I want to do. I would have been done by now. I would have been done
No, you wouldn't
yes,
have. Let's be honest. No, you wouldn't have.
I would have. The problem is every time I play a game, I just go looking for shit, and then I'm lost, and now I gotta start all over. And it's like, oh my god. It's great. It's a great game. I know it sounds like I don't love it. I love it. But it's just too much. It's too open. I don't like open worlds like that. Anyway.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, there's another game.
I promise this is the last one.
Okay, what is it?
And this one's gonna probably make you happy. Final Fantasy VII. It's already a movie. It's already a movie. It's literally already a movie, and you just control the characters. Yeah. Everyone who knows about the game, you know why. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, cool. A game that is a movie is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Those cutscenes are so fucking long. I love that game, but oh my god. You can literally put the controller down, go make dinner, and, come back, and they're still, talking. And I was like, Jesus.
I don't even talking from experience.
I literally went and made food and came back and I was like, oh my god, like, are you almost done? And then I made coffee on Keurig that was off, turned it on, waited, made the coffee, came back, still not done. And I was like, all right, I'm just going like watch this scene later. Like, this is ridiculous. Good game though, good game, just long as fuck. Yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake totally deserves to be there. And it wasn't. Shame on you guys. So, VG247.com has an article titled Epic reportedly offered Sony $200 million for PlayStation exclusives. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but because of the Epic versus Apple trial going on currently, we've been seeing a lot of nonsense going on with behind-the-scenes information that we technically normally wouldn't have. And this article is so interesting because it does say that, as the title suggests, Epic offered Sony reportedly $200 million for the ability to have some of their exclusive games on the Epic Game Store. And this article also goes on to say that they touted Microsoft as well, but Microsoft said, we don't really like what you're doing because that literally goes against what we're doing. And it also says that they reached out to Nintendo, but, you know, Nintendo obviously
We know that story, yeah.
was not gonna say yes to that. But I bring this up because I think this is so interesting since Epic basically says that Apple is a monolith of mobile games, and it's not fair, and yet here they are trying to buy exclusive titles from the big three so that they have exclusivity for being able to play these games on the Epic Game Store so that they can essentially, you know, make more money and own these games in some right to distribute them. How do you guys feel about that?
That Epic tried to buy PlayStation exclusives?
$200 million to buy PlayStation exclusives, even though those exclusives later came out to PC.
Aren't there two, isn't it Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn that are both already, or going to the Epic Game Store?
Are they going to the Epic Game Store? I know that it came out to PC.
I think it's both that and Steam.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, is on Steam now.
Okay. So, I don't know. I haven't kept up with this whole Epic Apple court case thing, so this is completely new territory to me.
Wasn't there, like, in court where they had, like, something about Peely the banana?
Yeah, they were like, is this appropriate?
It's appropriate for children.
And I was like, it's a banana.
Like, what?
Banana was naked, man. Gotta hide your banana parts.
But it's also not shorts. So.
Like,
yeah, but like what they showed though, they just showed like the banana not wearing shorts, and I think that's what it was.
But that's
it was like
dumb argument.
They put it in like a suit at court. Like they put the banana in like a suit. They're like, oh, he needs something appropriate to wear in court. I don't know. It was so stupid. I can't believe this is a real thing that's happening.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
like when Jerel said the word nonsense, I think that just pretty much sums everything up.
The whole thing has been. I think the lawsuit is stupid. I think that you can't try to force Apple to change the entire way that their like ecosystem works so that you could. So a short version of what is going on is that Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo and mobiles all get 30% of the revenue of whatever's purchased from Fortnite. So if you are playing Fortnite on a PlayStation and you buy something on the PlayStation, PlayStation gets 30% of that. Apple, if you're playing on an iPhone and you buy it on Apple, Apple gets 30%. Epic Games said it's not fair that Apple's getting 30%. You might be wondering, why the fuck is it not fair if everybody's getting 30%? According to Epic, Apple is more like a PC than they are like a console, and Microsoft, I believe, on PC only gets like 12% of the revenue instead of 30% of the revenue, and they want Apple to be more like Microsoft, because they don't want to give Apple that much money, because Apple makes millions off of Fortnite, because millions of people had iPhones. Like, obviously, more people have iPhones than have game home consoles. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
Simple. So obviously Apple's going to essentially be making...
It was written into their contract that this was what they were going to be making, and now they're like trying to like null that.
So that's the biggest ridiculous thing, is that this has always been that way. It was a part of their contract. That's why they did this whole free Fortnite bullshit to get out of that contract and break the contract so that they could sue Apple. And the reason that they're saying that Apple iPhones and iPads are more like PCs is because game companies don't make the same amount of money on selling hardware that Apple does for selling hardware, which is why we had the whole thing of Xbox being like, we don't make money off of selling hardware. Like, that's where that story came from, because they were like, no, yeah, we are at a loss. We just want people subscribing to game subscriptions. And so Epic was like, Microsoft or Xbox is making their money by people making these purchases. Apple is not making their money by people making these purchases. They're making more money off of it. And it's the same as like PC. So people are not, buying PCs to play Fortnite, essentially. And so hardware sales for PCs are making money, so they don't need the extra, 15% that we're giving consoles. That's the whole thing. But then we find out that apparently they've been trying to buy exclusives from these consoles anyway, and I'm like, but y'all literally are talking about how, everyone else is Apple's this big, bad monolithic, and you have to have your game on there if you want your game to get out. And yet here you are trying to purchase, for $200 million, Sony exclusives. Anyway, so how do you guys feel about this? Like, do you think that Sony would ever sell their exclusive rights to Epic Games or Nintendo or Microsoft? Do you think they should? What do you think about Epic Games doing this? Like, what are your general thoughts on this before I
we're already in uncharted territory with exclusives coming out to PC in the first place, and then for them to a company to come up to them and say we're going to restrict that further by having it only onto one digital storefront is like it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing. And Epic must think pretty high of themselves to think 200 million would be enough to secure them exclusive to Epic.
Like, that was my thought.
You might as well have been offering them the exposure, like to an artist.
Seriously.
like it's why would they think that's enough? And why would they Sony absolutely had the right to laugh them out of the room, because the profit they make from going to all the PC storefronts far eclipses this measly 200 million that they were offering for some exclusives. Like, what were they thinking? It's ridiculous. It's just absurd. This entire trial is absurd. And this is one of the most absurd details I have heard so far, that they thought this was going to work. Like, what is going on?
It's just so messy.
Yes.
It is.
This whole situation that we're talking about right now, just this little section of it is just so messy.
Yeah.
Also,
the only thing I've gathered from this is that Epic has balls. That's it. They don't have brains. I'm not saying they have brains.
They have balls, not brains.
Yeah,
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of them having balls, there was an article that I read earlier this week, and it was talking about how Epic approached Apple. They went to Tim Cook and they sent him an email basically saying that, we don't like what you're doing with the Apple Store. Like, you should totally change this. And his response was like, who is this person? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much, that's the whole trial in a nutshell.
It's have this in an hour that anything they say is gospel. Like, people are constantly taking notes of their words. It's like, it wasn't good enough?
Right. And I was like, how do you just approach someone? I guess I don't even know if it's balls. I feel like it's just not balls.
Again, I'm not saying there's a strategy or anything. I'm just saying they got balls to think they could do something like that. It's like,
I mean, I think there's a difference between having balls and just being ridiculous. And I think that's just kind of you don't just go to someone. You don't just go to fucking Tim Cook and tell him, sorry, you're doing this wrong, I don't like what you're doing.
I think there's a difference between having balls, having guts. Guts is when, kind of you got the brain part a little bit. It's still not there, though. I think balls is just outright dumb, but you think so highly of yourself. I think, that's what being ballsy is.
Guts is something different. Is the core part of it. That they think, that they really, in their mind, think that this ridiculous stuff makes perfect sense. That they say it and it just is right. There could be no differing opinion on that.
Did they offer the same 200 million to all of the big three?
Oh, we have no idea. We only know that they
because if it comes out that they offered it to all the big three, then come on, you're gonna offer $200 million to exclusives to Nintendo out of all the big three? Like, come on.
I don't think they would have offered it to
Nintendo first party games have never left Nintendo consoles. So if they thought 200 million was enough for Nintendo, oh my god, that would be even more hilarious than the PlayStation story. So
It's so crazy. Like, currently, to me, it's crazy because we know that these games are console sellers, right? Like, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, like, people are literally still trying to buy PS5 so they can play the next part of the series that we know for the foreseeable future is going to be on PS5. Like, what is coming out? Oh my god, there's a PS5 game that's coming out. Ratchet and Clank, right? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, another exclusive. Like, PlayStation's grabbing exclusives, and they want people to buy PlayStations, obviously, and it's working. So why the fuck would I sell you for $200 million? Bitch, get out of here. And is the PS5 not the like fastest selling console currently? I believe
I'd still love to get one. That'd be great.
Oh no, Hannah, we gotta help you. I'll see what I can do.
They're sold out everywhere still. I'm having the worst luck finding one. Hopefully one day.
I literally the other day, like last month, I had
contact with Jerel.
I will do my.
He's magical when it comes to
I got this because of Jerel.
I got mine because of Jerel.
What's so funny? I had one
me,
in
Jerel.
a cart on Target like last month. I got one in the cart and I was like, I don't need this. Why would I buy this? And I just like took it out. And then, because I didn't need it. I didn't need it. And I was talking to this guy and he was like, why didn't you just buy it for me? I was like, I didn't know you wanted one. I'm sorry.
Next time someone asks you something like that, just tap with your finger. Be like, why didn't I buy it for you?
Exactly. Why didn't you buy it for me, bro? That's why. You want it? Marry me.
Like a PS5 or someone who's not. I'm not married to.
Right? What's wrong with me? But yes, I will keep my eye out for you, Hannah. I'll do my best.
Okay, thank you.
My luck has been a little shit lately, but I'll do my best.
It's not as bad as mine.
I don't know. I mean, I was able to get like 4. So I think I could keep
just bragging.
keep it up. A lot of staying up super late, actually.
Man.
And ordering from a lot of different places. Anyway, so also Don't Nod, which is, developers of Life is Strange 1 and 2, etc. They were apparently approached by, and they haven't said who, but they were approached by another company with several acquisition offers, and they turned them all down because they are owned by Square Enix, which I did not know. Not Don't Nod. Sorry, the Life is Strange IP is owned by Square Enix, which is very interesting. So it looks like there's a lot of acquisition offers going around. Is there anything?
Yeah, people are going crazy about it. I think Microsoft opened the floodgates. They bought all those studios, and I was like, what if we bought studios? Then people would have to make games for us.
I think my favorite was still Microsoft in talks to acquire Discord, and then like a month later, PlayStation's like, we just partnered with Discord. I was like, damn, that's
it's quick.
Right there.
That was poetic.
Like, it was hilarious. I didn't believe it when I read it. But speaking of things that I don't believe that are actually happening, PlayStation is working on 25 PS5 games. Half of them are new franchises. It is unclear if they're first-party games, however, and this is by a friend of the show, Wesley LeBlanc, over at IGN.com.
Wesley!
LeBlanc. I'm trying to...
You did tell us to say it like that.
Anyway, so Herman Hulse says that they have more than 25 PlayStation PS5 games in development, half of which are new IPs. How do you guys feel about 25 new IPs coming to PlayStation? Because as far as I'm aware, a lot of what we've been getting have just been sequels to first-party titles. Like, we're gonna get that, oh my god, I was gonna say Breath of the Wild, and I don't mean that. The one, Aloy.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Thank you. Kellie says, what is wrong with you? Yes, Forbidden West, the sequel to God of War. We're getting Ratchet and Clank next.
Ragnarok.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's either none of them are really new IPs. So 25 new IPs from PlayStation for people that have a PS5. How do you feel about that? Excited? What are you expecting to see? Are your expectations tempered because like new shit? Oh no. How do you guys feel about it?
I'm gonna be honest. I partially think this is kind of non-news, and I'll tell you why I think it's non-news. Because they didn't specify when these 25 new IPs would come out.
Over the next 10 years.
Exactly. This could be like a 10-year plan. This could be a 15-year. This could be a 20-year plan. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is like every game company, all the big three, and all like the other ones in between. Of course, they're always thinking of like new IPs. It's just a matter of when they come out. Like I'll give you a great example. Ubisoft announced in 2017 that game Skull and Bones. They recently announced that it's getting delayed even further. So stuff like that was constantly in their minds, and then they'll announce it when they think it's going to be released soon. But yeah, the fact there's 25 new ones, obviously it's a lot more than a lot of people are expecting, because like you said, there's a lot of sequels coming out to here and there for the PlayStation 5 and possibly PlayStation 4 as well. But like, again, yeah, they can come out whenever. So 25, that's exciting, but like, that could be PS5. Hell, that could be PS6, honestly, if we're being real honest here. And the other thing I'll say about that is, this is 100% because of, Sony's been getting some like backlash lately, especially after they announced that Japan Studios is closing. We're not focusing on these games. We're only doing like high-end third parties. So they wanted to assure people like, no, don't worry, people. We have all these new IPs that are coming out. You don't have to worry about anything. Mm-hmm. And then people will just see that and they'll be like, oh, we got plenty of games to worry about. Nothing to worry about. And then when you really think about it, though, it's like, they'll come out. I believe it. It's just going to take some time. We're not talking 2021. We're not talking 2022. We're not talking 2023. We may see maybe 2 or 3 of these new IPs within these next 3 years, and that'll be exciting when they come out. It's just, we'll see. It's gonna be some time. Yeah. It's a non-news story, like I said from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I was just gonna ask, do you think it's in response of them, basically shitting on indie, saying we
yes,
need them?
100%, 100%. They had to. This is like damage control for sure. This announcement.
Yeah. But it's going to take years. I mean, we're not going to see any of those titles for quite a while, so it is just getting news out there for the sake of being like, hey, just to remind you, we are working on these. We can't say what they are, but there's things here. There's things happening.
Disagree. I think it is news. And
really?
And the reason that I think it is news is because, one, like I said, I think it is very much just like a get this out there, like so people are aware that we're working on things. But if another company like Nintendo or Microsoft said this, I think it would be news that's just as big, because we all know that Microsoft is working on games, right, from all these studios that they purchase. What the fuck is going on? Right? So I think it's news in the sense that it is an update that people have been, I don't know if we've been waiting for it, but yes, I think something that we've been curious about. And also I think it's very interesting to have a number tied to it. Like, it's not just we're coming out with games. It's like we are specifically have 25 titles that are for sure going to be in your hands. We don't know when, but I think because there is a number there, I feel a little bit more confident than I do with Xbox, which I still don't. I have
that's fair.
Since E3 of like last year or whatever the fuck happened, and they mentioned all the games that they like, Fable and Tell Me Why was one of them, I think, and Everwild, I think it was. Like they showed off a couple of them that were exclusive, but we still don't even have Halo Infinite. So like, I don't know what Xbox is doing. Nintendo hasn't said, here's 25 first-party titles, right? Like, we don't know what's happening for the Zelda anniversary. Like, we don't know shit. So I think it's very comforting for PlayStation to be like, nothing's gonna happen.
Stop that. We're not speaking that into the universe. We are not. Stop it right now.
But I think it's really cool for PlayStation to be like, well, if you have the PS5, we do have the games on the way. Nobody else has really done that. Mm-hmm.
But did they say the 25 new titles, new IPs were for the PS5? Well, I think that's where I'm going to have to disagree with you. I'm with Brandon on this one, because it's like, I mean, it's almost kind of a given a company's going to be working on something new. It's just...
Oh, sorry, yes.
Wait, did they say PS5?
Yes, PS5?
My bad, yes. I just said no because Gabe was talking. Yes.
That's his default. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
And half of them are... So it says...
His trigger finger is always set on no.
More than 25 PlayStation 5 games in development. More than 25 PlayStation 5 games in development. Half of them are brand new IPs.
I will say,
not all 25 are brand new IPs.
Yeah.
Just half of them.
Not all 25. At least half of them.
Okay, well, that was a big
there we go.
We were like, that's a lot.
That's a big difference. I still stand by.
12 is still a lot.
It is still a lot.
It's true.
25 was like a high number. I was like, that's really a lot.
New IPs, that's a lot. Yeah.
If we're talking 12, then it's entirely possible that can release within the PS5 era. I still don't think it'll be that soon, but it most certainly can definitely release within the PS5 era. It's certainly possible, and some of them could, you always have at the end of a console's life cycle those cross-platform games that like PS5, like PS4 to PS5. Maybe some of those later ones will come to PS5/PS6. Who knows? It depends on how long some of them take to come out, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, they have, like, maybe I'm going to assume 8 to 10 years. I feel like the PS5's life cycle is going to last a little bit longer than every other life cycle. Same with the Series X. Like, these machines are freaking crazy. I promise y'all, the Series X does not turn off. I don't care what anybody tells me. I turned that shit off, and I left my house, unplugged it, and I came back and my downloads were done, and I was like, how the fuck? Like, it doesn't even have power. How are the downloads done? And I turned it on, and I was in the same... I do have the app. Is that how that works? Like, what?
That's probably how that works.
But the system was not plugged into the power. It doesn't make sense.
There's a ghost in your house. There's a ghost in your house.
I was like, there's no way. And then I turned on Yakuza, and I was like, how is this still on, like... the same, like, this shit is magical. Like, I don't trust it. It was like, the government's in my house on my Xbox. I don't know what it was. It was like, there's no way. I don't know what Xbox is doing. This shit is, I decided it's never off. It's listening to me right now. But speaking of new IPs for Sony, did any of you guys actually play Sunset Overdrive?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that game is awesome. I literally bought an Xbox to play it. Great fucking game. Sunset Overdrive, there is an article over at IGN, and it says, nothing is stopping Insomniac making Sunset Overdrive 2 for PlayStation. And this is by Joe Screbbles at IGN.com, as I mentioned. As we know, the original Sunset Overdrive was an Xbox exclusive. Mm-hmm. And apparently nothing is stopping Insomniac from making Sunset Overdrive 2, which would then be a PlayStation exclusive because they were bought by PlayStation. How do you guys feel about a company making an exclusive for one game and making a sequel for another?
They kind of did that with Titanfall.
Did they? Was Titanfall originally on Xbox only?
Titanfall 1 was an Xbox One exclusive when it originally came out. Titanfall 2 came everywhere, and so obviously Apex did the same. But yeah.
Wait, Apex?
Well, Apex is related to the Titanfall series. I just mentioned it tangentially.
Like,
yeah. But yeah, so Sunset Overdrive, one game coming to one console and a sequel coming to, or in this case, is it specifically going to be like PlayStation exclusive, or is that one going to be multi-platform?
Well, I don't know, so I'm just asking on the. I'm Insomniac Games. I think haven't all their games since then been exclusives?
I want to say yes, but I would have to research that. But I believe so. Yeah. If I'm gonna assume multi-platform because I would assume that Sunset Overdrive 2 would be like on both Xbox and PlayStation. I would assume that because the original was on Xbox, and it would be kind of weird for the sequel to just go to a console that's just like none of those.
They just did that with Persona 5 Strikers.
Which Persona? Yeah, but that was still on PlayStation. That's my point. Mm-hmm. People that played Persona 5 on PlayStation could still continue to play it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
Switch is just an option.
Yeah, but then if you haven't played it on PlayStation and you don't own a PlayStation, you're going to start at the sequel on a Switch.
Correct, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that it's going to be on both Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, if you're on PlayStation, then you're going to have to eat the fact that you didn't play the original because if you didn't have Xbox. I'm just saying if you were an Xbox owner and did play the original, you can continue to the series on your Xbox and not miss anything. That's what I'm saying. One. Correct. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
What are we doing here?
Insomniac Games.
We're saying the same thing.
I know. We're talking about for the games that they have, Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man, right? Those are, exclusively to PlayStation. I mean, this is the conversation of Xbox buys Bethesda. Why would they ever put their games on another platform after spending so much money for it, right? PlayStation bought Insomniac Games. Sunset Overdrive was great. I don't know that many people actually bought it or played it. I don't even know how popular it was, but it was a great game. But I don't think it was popular enough for them to make it multi-platform. Like, if I'm PlayStation and I own Insomniac, Xbox ain't getting shit. You guys are getting nothing. You're not getting a Sunset Overdrive 2. You're not getting Discord.
We had this conversation. The more platforms your game is on, the more money you make.
Yep.
Why would you not?
That's true, but
if Sunset Overdrive is not going to sell consoles, then they'll put it on everything.
Yeah,
you are right, Kelly. But Sony doesn't care. They have literally. We also talked about how much money they made, right, on exclusives.
Sony's
greedy. They
greedy.
do not need. They don't need to put their games on other platforms. they're the only one of these three that are charging for crossplay. They're like, you want to play with us? Well, you have to pay an extra fee just so that your little Nintendo and Xbox bitches can play with us. Like, they have money. They hoard money. They don't need to. Like, I if it were Xbox, I would agree with you. But I think for PlayStation, they don't give a fuck. Like,
but if they're greedy,
really
then they just want to make as much money as possible. So selling it to more platforms would make them technically more money. I don't know. I think it would be weird to just have something only on Xbox and then have it only on PlayStation, like the sequel. I think that would be so strange. Like, it would just be like a weird concept. Yeah. Like, it just wouldn't make things feel right. Like, I don't even care, but I would be like, something's wrong in the universe. Like, because, like, I don't know, I have, like, a bunch of sequels on, like, different, consoles, and it's like, they're all blue, or they're all green, or Call of Duty I have blue and green, like, all over the place, whatever, but, like, there's never just, like, one and then the other,
well, Kellie,
and that's it,
you know? Should be very happy that you are not a Kingdom Hearts fan. Because
that was rough for a while. That was rough for a while.
It started on PS2,
it was definitely that.
And went to fucking DS.
GBA.
Game Boy Advance, and then, like,
DS,
to PSP. Like,
you had to have a DS and a PSP to keep up with the series at the time. I'm glad we're not in that era anymore.
Man.
Like, God.
Kingdom Hearts did that shit. They didn't give a fuck.
They did.
We're gonna go wherever we want to go.
We don't care.
Dedicated. Same with, like, fucking Disney, so I find none of that surprising. That
I think I played that one more on Disney than, like, the developer, like the
No. No, more of the director series specifically wanted those series on this one. He's like, ooh, a DS sounds like it could be fun with its 2 screens and the wireless multiplayer. But he said, but I also want a really good looking handheld one, so I'm going to put it on PSP. That was him.
That was him. Fuck y'all fans.
Yes, he did.
That was him.
That's why it's always going to be fuck Sora for Smash.
How did this come about? Like, I don't know what just happened. Anyway, so speaking
he has few opinions, or the opinions he does have, they are intense. I can integrate them into
everything.
Yes.
No Sora for Smash, Breath of the Wild for everything. And Dark Souls
fuck
is good.
Sora. Souls is great. Oh, whoa, if you're going to quote me, you better use the exact same words. Dark Souls is great. Yeah, there we go. It's not my fault you can't beat the damn game.
Alright, so GameSpot.com has an article titled 2020 Financial Year looking at NFTs for future growth. Square Enix sees massive potential in the crypto craze of NFTs, but for now it's just recorded a record year of sales and profits by Darren Bonthus. And I'm just gonna, tell you guys how much money Square Enix made, so we can all feel like we don't have any money. Square Enix has recorded a 27.6% year-on-year increase in net sales that totaled $3.03 billion. $3.03 billion for Square Enix. And they saw its operating income grow by 44.2% to $430 million. And the article says, quote, thanks to the high-profile release of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Marvel's Avengers, brisk catalog game sales, and solid subscriptions for ongoing titles such as Final Fantasy XIV and Dragon Quest X, sales increased 39.9% year-on-year in Square Enix's digital entertainment business section. Unsurprisingly, critical flop Balan Wonderworld was not mentioned. I do not appreciate that, Darren. I think Balan Wonderland was a nice game. I appreciate you calling it a critical flop. If it wasn't mentioned,
you can't even remember the name.
Okay,
you just said Balan Wonderland.
Okay.
You said World and then Wonderland in the same sentence.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do, guys.
You're so close. You're getting there, but no.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, the article goes on to say digital game sales grew by 31% to represent 85% of annual revenue. And there was something else here that I saw that I wanted to mention, but I think it was. I don't care. Can't find it, so I no longer care. But what? Wait. Yeah. Oh, okay. It was about NFTs. So they also mentioned that they want to look into NFTs. So do you guys know what NFTs are?
Non-transferable tokens.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Do you know how they work?
Absolutely not.
I mean,
it creates false. When you create NFTs, you're basically creating like this thing to make artificial scarcity, for example, because like if only 10 people Here's this thing that only 10 exists in the world, go get it, and we're not going to make any more, it becomes significantly more expensive because it's a scarce item.
So that's the prospect behind why essentially Square Enix is looking into so supposedly Square Enix is looking into NFTs, right? Essentially an NFT is basically you claiming ownership over claiming ownership over something, right? So I can make an NFT for Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? And if I sell that, whoever owns that like digital license, it's basically a digital license. So whoever owns that essentially owns Final Fantasy VII. Does that mean anything? No. Because, like, you can still, or like, let's say an image, right? Like, if someone draws an image, and if I draw an image and I sell the NFT to Hannah, she now owns that image. Is that image still on the internet? Yes. Can people still access that image? Yes. The only thing that happens is Hannah can say, I own it. But, like, who cares? Like, Hannah owns it. That is essentially an NFT. But, like Brandon said, what that does is it does create scarcity, right? Like you mentioned, because then what happens is if I only make 5 of them, like the 5 of us can say, yeah, we are the original and only owners of this item. And so then that NFT can drive up the price because other collectors want to be able to own this. But it's still kind of stupid because, like, sure you own it, but do you really own it? Like, it's really weird. But so Square Enix is apparently...
So if I'm one of the original owners and then I decide to drive up the price and someone buys it for me, am I no longer the owner?
You would have to sell the NFT to that person. So
it's no longer mine. So it transfers to them.
Guess, yes.
Okay.
Well, how would you get ownership of it?
I mean, you could essentially sell a copy of it for a lot of money and then just keep the NFT and still own it.
Yeah.
It's like owning the Mona Lisa and having a copy of...
I saw this example, yeah.
You know, like, somebody owns it. Okay, who cares? I have the same shit in my house, you know?
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, Square Enix said that they are thinking about possibly getting into NFTs. I think this is really stupid. Having that explanation, that very bare bones explanation of NFTs, but the amount of money that they made, I guess they can get into whatever they want because they have billions of dollars. It concerns me a little bit, this whole NFT thing, because I don't know how it would work out for consumers. Like, am I just supposed to own an NFT to download a game in the future? Like, do I just have to own the license of that game? What happens, like... if there's first of all, how are there even a limited number of NFT? Like, you just make a fucking code as far as I know. Like, how is there a limited number of something? But having said that, I think it is, here it is, a quote from the same article. It says, Square Enix says that this NFT avenue is being explored as a means to quickly adapt to environmental changes in the content business and proactively adopt the burgeoning technologies that result from them. I don't know what the fuck that means. I have no idea what that means. They're planning to bolster profitability and expand the base of recurring profits by leveraging new and existing IP in different directions. And to do that, the company aims to explore the world of non-fungible tokens, the latest crypto craze that you can read more about in their NFT guide on GameSpot.com. So, Square Enix getting into NFTs. Do you guys have any thoughts on that before I move on away from this weirdness?
I think it's going to take a long time. I don't think this is going to start happening tomorrow. Like, you're worrying about, my game's got NFTs? I don't think that's a concern. I mean, they said, like, we're looking into possibly using this new technology. That was it. I mean, they got to write articles about something. So, that's what they chose, but I don't really feel like it's going to be anything anytime soon. Not at a commercial level, anyways.
No.
Right now,
seems
I just
ridiculous with how much money they're making too.
Why do y'all need to do this? Literally, for what reason?
Yeah,
you're about to make so
seems
much
unnecessary.
More money. You're gonna make so much more money too. Like what? Mm-hmm. I mean, if y'all want, I guess. Gabe, do you care?
Still don't understand the whole concept of it, so I don't have to comment on it.
Understandable.
Okay, so anyway. Moving right along, NintendoEverything.com has an article titled Nintendo Comments on its Rising R&D Costs by Brian. And the article says, when Nintendo held its financial call last week, one investor asked about the company's rising costs when it comes to research and development. The Big N is expecting these expenses to be a nearly $100 billion yen for this fiscal year. That's a lot of fucking yen.
That's a lot, yeah.
And the quote says, from Furukawa, President Shintaro Furukawa says, our software development costs, which is including outsourcing, are increasing as we work to maintain a continuous stream of new titles for Nintendo Switch as it enters the middle of its life cycle. I thought that was really interesting. Because per title development costs are higher now than they were on past platforms, we anticipate that R&D expenses will continue to rise as we work to maintain a sizable lineup of titles. We are also conducting a variety of studies, which include investigating ways to enhance our digital business and future services that will help maintain long-term relationships with our consumers, as we touched on the corporate management policy briefing last September. In addition, the development of next generation of hardware needs to begin years before launch, so R&D expenses for that are gradually rising. We're aiming to grow by continuing our integrated hardware, software, entertainment business, and that means conducting all sorts of research and development in various areas, including both hardware and software. My question for you guys is, does that give you hope for what Nintendo's looking for in the future, or is this more of just like this is another business call, this means nothing? How do you feel about that?
I actually want to say it does give me a little bit of hope, because for the longest time, Nintendo had, especially when it comes to their first parties, when you talk about the Mario games, the Legend of Zelda games, rest in peace, F-Zero, but that used to be part of the equation as well. Right. It used to be very, very, very internal with its development. Like, they would not trust anyone with these, like, core Mario, Zelda, or what have you games. Now, they're coming to realize, finally, that if they're going to keep up the steady stream of games on their system and their platform, they can't do it all by themselves. They have to start trusting other developers to give them a hand with it. We saw that a little bit with Breath of the Wild. Monolith Soft helped them with the development of that game, because that was far bigger than anything that they had ever developed for the Legend of Zelda series. So that's going to continue. And I, with Pokemon Snap, for example, new Pokemon Snap, Bandai Namco helped develop that one. With Smash Brothers, Sora Limited was the main ones that were like focused on it, but they also had development help from Nintendo and Bandai Namco as well, and then all the other third-party developers that are licensed their stuff in. It's a good sign, because I think it can only, at the core, Nintendo is still gonna do whatever kind of game they want. It just, all it means is more people to help them make those said games so they can keep up the steady releases of their games. Otherwise, Nintendo has famously had trouble with new hardware, and it has sometimes hurt them in the past. It definitely hurt them with the Wii U, for example. So it really behooves them to get this kind of assistance so they can keep making these games the way they want. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that they're finally seeing the light and realizing that it's okay to ask for help. You can still make the game you want to make with a little help from your friends. It's okay.
My statement on this is so much less educated than yours. Literally, I read it, and I'm all about semantics, so I'm all about the words that you use when you say something, and I read mid-life cycle, and I was like, this should have been out for 3 years, what are you talking about? I feel like that's so early!
It's out 4, but
still, I was like, oh my god, that's crazy.
If we get another 4, 8 years is a pretty healthy life cycle for a console these days, I would think.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I just didn't realize, mid-life cycle is so crazy to think about when I think about the Switch. I feel like I just bought it 2 years ago. So when he's mid-life, I'm like, what? This isn't going anywhere for the longest time. I still feel like I have 8 more years ahead of me. So I was like, oh my god, first of all, either I'm old or the Switch is old or something's wrong. And then the second thing was...
I'm sorry, one more point to that. This is the Pokemon Company, not necessarily Nintendo, but we're already seeing evidence of that, of the fact that, the Pokemon Company, like we said earlier, is entrusting a different studio to make the Diamond and Pearl remakes while they focus on the Legends of Arceus. There's a different timeline in which they didn't ask for anyone's help, and the Diamond and Pearl remakes will be the only things you're looking forward to, and we may not have seen Legends for 2 or 3 years, so we're already starting to see that happen, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, the other, stick out for me, the other thing that pointed out to me was new hardware. I was like, oh my god, give me my Switch Pro. Tell me more. Spend all the money, billions of yen on my Switch Pro, please! And that's all I got from that. I was like, wow, I'm old and Switch Pro, please. That's it. That's all I read.
Yeah.
Anyone else before I move on? No. Very point of fact. So, two more stories, one more topic, and then we're done. I don't want to hold you guys here forever. First story is over from The Verge, and it is titled, TheVerge.com, it is titled, Target will stop selling Pokemon cards in the stores due to an abundance of caution by Mitchell Clark. Target has decided that it's had enough. The company has officially confirmed to Bleeding Cool that it will halt the sales of Pokemon cards throughout the U.S. starting Friday, May 14th, tomorrow. Wow. As of this recording. The retailer cites an abundance of caution for the safety of both guests and store employees and notes that it will still be selling the cards on its site. Currently, Pokemon cards and other trading cards are having a moment. People have swamped card grading companies hoping to get a rating that makes their cards more valuable, and the Pokemon company has been rushing to print enough cards to meet the demand. I'm not going to stop there. I feel like that's pretty much what it is.
Sure.
And there's another set of tweets that I read that I don't know where they are, but essentially someone blames Logan Paul, and they were like, it's your fault for buying Pokemon cards at ridiculous prices, because now, since you've done it, it's just, made the prices rise exponentially. It's like, right now, everybody buying gas when they don't need to, because they're is no issue with gas, and now the price of gas is rising. That's, supply and demand. So that's happening to Pokemon cards. And I wanted to bring this up because every time I have gone into GameStop or Target, I have seen a grown-ass adult arguing with someone about trying to buy Pokemon cards. And I'm not saying that you can't be an adult and buy Pokemon cards. Buy your cards, buy your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, buy your shit. But be fucking, respectful and coherent. Yeah. Why are you... literally, it was like 10 a.m. and I went to pick up new Pokemon Snap, and there was this guy, and, he wasn't even in line, and he was yelling at the dude, you guys are supposed to release Pokemon cards today, and he's like, we are not selling them, we don't have the authority to sell them, and he kept going on. I was like, can I just please get my game? I don't want to be here for this. Second time that shit has happened. People are buying up fucking McDonald's, Happy Meals to steal the cards out, and I think that the article, I don't know if it's this article, but there's an article that goes on to talk about how people were going into Target and opening boxes of cereal up to get the cards out of them. This shit is ridiculous. Just all of this just so they could sell it later, possibly at another higher price, which is another my biggest issue with this is stop ruining things for people.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. My nephews used to get Pokemon cards. There's no way I'm gonna go fight some grown-ass man for Pokemon cards. Yeah, I'm gonna find something else to collect. I'm not with that life. And it sucks because I'm like, I can't buy you anymore because I'm not trying to go into Target and fight a bitch, with my fucking boots on. I'm not here for that. I just want to buy dog pads. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so your thoughts on the fact that these stores are no longer selling Pokemon cards or cards in general because of this?
Well, yeah, when a corporation has to release a statement saying, out of an abundance of caution, we will no longer be carrying that, that's when it's just so ridiculous. It just reaches an extreme point where it's like, this was not necessary.
At all.
It's Pokemon cards. I think you're going to be okay. It's... Yeah.
It's awful how it's gotten, because, I've collected, I've collected Pokemon cards on and off in my life. Obviously, I was, back in the day, I got my, fossil sets and such and such. And even then, of course, cards were rare. This started because Logan Paul specifically, bought, that really expensive-ass Charizard from the base set all the way back in, 98 or whatever. And then people were like, wow, these cards actually are worth money? So if I start buying cards now, I could get rich? And that's how it all started. It's just and now people are just tearing each other apart just to get the cards, and it's just a shame, because now one big retailer is no longer selling cards. Like little Timmy just wants to get his Mimikyu and be happy, and now they can't. Yeah, I have to keep it going, Kelly. I know you're not seeing that face.
Man,
they always having everything that I need.
Yes, he always has it right next.
Oh my god,
he
has Pokemon cards all the time.
Yes.
Hannah, you don't understand.
I love it.
Every time something comes up, Brandon's like, and here I have it. Every podcast, it's amazing. He's a magician.
I haven't bought cards in over maybe 3 years. These are just all from when I was getting back into it.
But and that's the thing, is getting those cards too, it should be fun. It shouldn't be this weird mad rush just to get something to resell it for money later on.
Yeah,
it's really the problem that I have with all of this. Everything now is just to buy it and resell it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. PlayStation, you can't get one because people are reselling them. You can't get Pokemon cards. They have to literally stop selling them. When did we just become gas? People are trying to resell the gas. People literally hoarded hand sanitizer and toilet paper and tried to resell it and price gouge people when there was a pandemic. why are we such assholes? I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just some Pokemon cards. Like, you're gonna, like, make some money. I don't, like, I would totally love to make money, like, just doing shit to resell to people, but why do you just want to rip off your fellow nerd? Like,
Exactly.
Like, let
trying to,
people
like,
enjoy
push
what
it?
they love. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just turned into, like, oh, I can make money? Fuck all y'all. I don't give a crap. I will punch Timmy to get my cards so I can sell them full-grown man on the internet.
Yeah.
Because
there's a tweet underneath this thread, and it's someone that shows a Pikachu McDonald's promo 2019 for $1.25 and $1.04, and the price of that as of that date has gone up to $81. That shit was $1. It was $1, and now it's $81.
With the kids' meal. People were literally buying freaking Happy Meals to get their Pikachu and throwing out the food. That's what really pissed me off. That people are out here wasting food just to get their card, and depriving little Timmy the chance to get their cute little Pikachu card. Do you know that Christy had a hardest time? Because she loves Pikachu. She just wanted a cute little McDonald's Pikachu. She don't care about the money. She just wanted a cute Pikachu card, and she has such a hard time getting it just because of these assholes. And I was like,
literally $1 to $81. Like, fuck y'all. But Logan Paul spent $150,000 on a Pokemon card. But like, who even do you know what you could have done with that? It's your money, whatever. Do what you want.
Card. That's the worst part about it. So many Pokemon cards, for context, sell well because they're actually good, viable cards in like the actual TCG. But then there's some that are just rare because they're like scarce, like the promo cards you get from like the movies or whatever, or this shit with the McDonald's thing. Or even, no, I guess that's it. Like, they're just cards that are harder to get than normal just become rare, and then it's terrible. It's absolutely awful.
By the way, that was after he spent $200,000 on a box of Pokemon cards.
Oh, there you go. $200,000.
And then he spent $150,000 on a single card. And, that's how the value of things gets fucked up. Because someone who has too much money does shit like this.
Oh, I got another one. Hold on. I'm going to open this up real quick.
All of all people do. It's just...
I don't even want to talk about him.
So real quick, let me tell you something else that got ruined for everybody because of something like this. I just want y'all to know that it's getting worse lately with the whole reselling thing, but it's been around for a while. So here's this thing here. Before Amiibo came out, they had this for Pokemon Rumble U. These are just little capsule things. They look like a Pokeball. You open them. If I can open this, there we go. And you got like little mini figures that like work with like Pokemon.
Cute.
It's like super tiny. I'm gonna try like hold it.
That is adorable.
It's adorable. And these are like the precursors to Amiibo. They would get used with the NFC pad or whatever. Yeah, so there was like 18 of these. You could like collect as many as you want to use them in the Pokemon Rumble U game. And they were like $1 for one of these things, and they got in boxes. I could only get the first two, a Pikachu and an Eevee, because grown-ass men went in the store, bought the entire box of the Rumble things, and no one could get shit. So I was like, it'd be cool if I could complete this little collection. That wasn't happening. I'm surprised I managed to get this and the Eevee. I'm like, it's terrible. It still makes me mad to this day that that this is such a cool thing I wanted to get into for this game, and I couldn't do it because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all keep talking about little Timmy, this and that. Fuck them. I'm thinking about the people who generally like collecting this stuff and have been collecting.
Why couldn't it be both? Why couldn't we worry about collectors
fuck little
and
Timmy.
little Timmy?
No, fuck little Timmy. I'm not here for little Timmy.
Gabe is always about them.
Yeah, I'm not here for them kids. Fuck that shit.
Okay.
It's like, you have all these people that like they've had these they've started these collections since since they were kids. And, now they can't even do it because people their age or, I mean, I understand, this is obviously a very easy way to get a quick buck. And, times like this when, COVID's happening, people are down on money, whatever. But, like, I don't know. Like, I have a big-ass binder full of Pokemon cards. And, like, what if one day I just decided to go and, start going back to Target or what? Because that's where I would go to get my cards. I'd go to Target or Walmart. To get my cards, and I find out, you can't get them because people your age are being fucking assholes. Like, like okay, to reword what I said at the beginning because I'm playing it over my head. And it's very bad.
I mean,
I don't mean like, I mean, I did, and I'm gonna stand by it. But like, I don't necessarily mean like fuck little Timmy, like like fuck kids, like because like, and I think it's just And it's something that, like Kellie said too, I think it's, we're grown people. Like, why are we don't have to act like this. Like, again, I understand money's low. You're trying to find any easy way to make a shit ton of money. You have assholes like, Logan Paul, who still hasn't been knocked down in the ring because he hasn't fought a real fucking boxer because he's a piece of shit. Going out and like, I think people have to realize that you're not them. No matter how many horrible things you do by scalping things, you're not going to get to where they are money-wise. And just let people enjoy stuff.
Yeah. That's the main takeaway of this whole thing, is just let people enjoy what they're passionate about and don't try to ruin it in any way.
Because I'm telling you right now, within the next year or two, there's going to come out this vigilante dude. He's going to start hitting you guys in the kneecap with a bat.
Oh
I'm not saying it's me, but it's going to be me.
This is literally the same thing you said before the PlayStation 5. Is this a thing with you? You're just gonna hit people with bats?
Is this vigilante gonna be called the anti-scalp, and he's just gonna go after people that just like...
I'm not gonna call myself I'm not gonna call them...
Officially, anti-scalp doesn't exist.
Anti-scalp, because that sounds like I'm gonna scalp someone's head or something.
No, you're anti-scalping.
You're anti.
Yeah, the anti-scalp.
I feel like if you call someone like the anti-scalp, like, the scalp is gonna have to be like one of their like main like cards or something. It's like, oh my gosh, the anti-scalp is here. The dude's missing a quarter of his scalp.
Oh wow!
We'll brainstorm that like Inglourious Basterds, just scalp them after anti-scalp.
Never seen that movie, but I haven't seen a lot of things. So.
Very gory. Don't watch it.
It's quite gory.
Well, thank you. I won't watch it then. So
it's kind of a classic, though.
Well, I guess I have to watch people get half scalped. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Out.com has an article that says Uno is releasing a special edition Pride deck, and they're donating $50,000. It says Uno has celebrated a game with the ability to transcend age, culture, and language while bringing people together, something we aspire to do at the It Gets Better project. We are thrilled that Mattel has chosen to partner with a non-profit serving a diverse global community of LGBT plus youth for its first ever Play with Pride deck, and we look forward to continued inclusivity and representation that reflects the world that we live in. So I want to know how you guys feel about companies that do Pride shit.
That's good.
In general.
I think they should. And this is definitely one of the more smarter Uno things, the things that Uno has done with like decks. Because they have, Uno's been around forever. They have so many different decks. You want to know what the most, like marginalized thing they've ever done, Uno? They had a waterproof deck, and the commercial that they used with it was literally like two old white men playing Uno cards next to their pool. A kid splashes water on them, and they just kept playing the game. And that was their advertisement for the
practical.
It's practical.
That is their audience.
If you're it's the guys who play Uno next to a pool. Sure, I guess. I'm glad they enjoyed that deck. I don't think that's so well. But no, that Uno anecdote aside, this is really good. I do like that they're doing this.
I just hope they follow through with it. And just continue it throughout the year, not just a Pride Month thing,
Sure.
So cynical.
Mm-hmm. Please don't be an monthly exclusive thing. Like, it's a good time to introduce it, certainly, but like,
it is limited edition. It says it is a limited edition rainbow colored card game that will retail for $5.99 and can be purchased exclusively at Target.com and Target stores nationwide.
Oh, those cards are still staying at Target then.
I should just say those cards are staying at Target. Yeah. Imagine if they pull all the Uno cards too. No Pride for you guys. No nothing. No Pokemon. No Pride.
If we go and start fighting over a Pride deck, me and Jerel are gonna be like, no, it's mine.
I actually
if the Uno cards are limited, people can scalp those. They'll be like, oh, shit, the Pokemon cards are gone.
Why would you put that into the universe?
Next week, you got a gold chain on, and be like, Uno cards. Who would have thought?
Sell them to the kids, and then you make a ton of money back.
There you go.
Hey Gabe, I'm not saying anything specific, but it'd be really cool if that anti-scalp started appearing soon. I'm just saying. I don't know who would do it.
You want to be my first target? Is that what you're telling me?
Why the fuck would I be your first target?
Because you came up with the idea. This was your idea. I've never seen
when I'm not the target anyway.
I've never seen anyone talk about scalping Uno cards until today. So, You're on my watch list, mister.
It's a
You're on my watch
Limited
list.
edition Uno cards, not just any Uno cards.
At Target, do you see the correlation here? People go to get their Pokemon cards at Target. They didn't get the memo that they got taken out. They'll find these limited edition
They're gonna be like,
cards.
I need something limited edition. Yeah.
I can't.
There you go.
You know what? I
Limited
got it
edition
this morning
medical,
to scalp some shit. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
do
God.
this instead.
Oh my god. Anyway, I'm very cynical about these things. I actually don't like when companies do this. I think it's really weird.
Performative.
Yes.
A little performative.
But you know,
And that's what I'm saying.
$50,000 is no joke. Just donate the money.
Yeah,
Why not
just
just
donate the money.
But I guess it's really
And
cool to give people something. That's just me personally. I think we should support, you know, smaller businesses instead of like big. When Lady Gaga had Oreos, I was like, why they green? Like I don't like what is
Monica.
like who's gonna
The tackiest thing I've ever
they were
fucking
so,
seen.
and people
Yeah.
were going
Green.
crazy.
Pink and green.
Saw people
Ugh.
scalping them though.
Crazy. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
this is nasty. Like, why are we doing this? Why do y'all? First
Yeah.
of all,
Game
how
of
many of
Thrones
y'all are gonna
Oreos.
even play Uno anymore? Like, y'all just like. I mean, I guess you know. Okay,
I
sorry.
still
I love
play
Uno. What the hell?
How
Yeah.
often? When's the last time y'all played Uno?
Last
Last
time I had a
week.
family gathering, which was about maybe 2 months
Wow,
ago.
it must be so nice to have family gatherings. I don't know what that is.
Be
Alright,
your
I
well,
don't play it
friend.
very often.
this got so depressive. I'm gonna move on.
I was about to say me either, but I was like,
Oh,
no,
okay.
we need to get dark. It's okay.
You know, like, what are these family gatherings you speak of?
Can we play Uno together?
I would love
Oh,
to.
there
I
you
would
go.
love
Oh
to.
my gosh, I'll
Yeah.
gift it to everybody on
There
Steam.
is
and we can
online
play it on
Uno.
Steam.
That-
Wait, it's on Steam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
buy
Watch
me.
Mark
Okay.
Pirate Pay it.
I take it all back. Buy me a Pride set.
Yeah, seriously.
I
Yeah,
take back everything I said. Buy me a Pride
Okay.
set.
It's $6. I'll buy one for everyone.
Look at that.
I'm such a piece of shit. I'm like, it's so performative, but buy me one.
Give me one.
If it wasn't a limited thing, I would say it wasn't performative. Because like, if that was just a performative edition, that'd be a nice gesture.
Yeah, that you could buy.
There
it.
is stuff
Oh, yeah.
right now.
But if it's limited, then hell yeah, it's performative, and that sucks.
You know what doesn't suck?
What doesn't suck, Jerel?
Xbox
Ew.
Party Chat gets text to speech and speech to text accessibility push up. What accessibility options? Wow, I read that wrong. From Eurogamer.net, sorry, by Matt Wales. He goes on to talk about exactly what I said. They're also generally useful for detecting microphone problems or distinguishing game audio from people in the party talking. And this is just about accessibility. I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was a really, really great option, being able to get text to speech and speech to text as an accessibility option for Xbox. And I still think that Xbox is, I believe, like the leading platform for accessibility in gaming currently. And I think a lot of companies can pay attention to that because that's a big deal. Like speech to text or like text to speech for someone who, for whatever reason, might not be able to easily or at all, get their point across in a party chat or be able to type out something. It's something so small, like that we use all the time on our smart devices that has such a huge impact. So I definitely wanted to shout out Xbox for that. Speaking of things that are not performative, because that's not performative. That's good shit. Also, I think, Kellie, you were saying the cards were ugly. Is that what you're saying? They look bad?
They're kind of ugly.
I feel like they're kind of
Yeah.
tacky. Like, they have the heart
Look a
at the
little
corner. I was like,
tacky.
not really feeling it. But, go gays, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest, like there's rainbow in the background, but the other
Yeah.
stuff is just like the 4 colors, which they were already like in 4 colors, so
Yeah.
they were already multicolored. So I don't know how it's like necessarily Pride, except for the rainbow in the background. But
Mhm.
I'll just get.
There's-
I knew Uno was
No.
pride all along.
I'll just get one of
It's
my many
always
boyfriends
bad, okay?
to buy me a set. Just
yeah, seriously,
I can
I
we should be
draw
looking
you.
at some sets. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I don't have any boyfriends. That was a joke. Don't come for me. I was joking.
Don't cover me.
I was joking.
Johnny?
Why would you say names on this podcast, Gabe?
I didn't say anything.
All right.
What did I
Anyway,
say?
yes. Anyway,
I didn't
So-
hear a name.
great because I didn't hear it either.
Exactly.
Anyway, so does anyone
wanna say
watch
it again?
Valkyrie on Twitch?
No.
No. Okay.
Correct.
No.
No.
Valkyrie. Okay. Well, I'll move on. But she was labeled a bikini streamer, igniting rage from her fan base. This is over at gfinityesports.com by George Aguilar. And I thought it was really interesting because have you guys seen, and I think we talked about this before with Kelly, but have you guys seen the Twitch streamers that are streaming in their bathing suits currently? These lovely women.
Yes,
I saw like the image. I saw like an
it.
image of like a streamer who's in bikini, like doing fortune telling. That was making the rounds like a few weeks ago. But that's about it.
some streams are really in right now, and they're wearing bikinis that don't cover all the naughty bits.
Let me tell you something. If somebody wanted to
On
watch
Twitch?
me
Oh.
sit in a bikini telling fortunes on Twitch and pay me, there is not anything anyone could do to stop me. I would 100%.
Jerel, the market is like hot.
I need to get it now.
So much money.
I need to get it right now. It's like
More power to you if you're making money off of it. Like, go for it.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah, that was my question. How do you guys feel about this being on like the front page of Twitch?
If you're comfortable and happy with what you're doing, then
Page.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be on the front page.
yeah.
Maybe not on the front page, but yeah.
Y'all don't want me on the front page and nothing at all?
Absolutely not.
Nothing. No,
Well,
I can't say it's
we kind of talked about this before because Twitch has like guidelines. They're supposed to have like it was okay. I thought the guideline was no underboob, no butt cheek. That was what I thought. Like no, none of the crescent of that. Whatever. Anyways, no underboobs, no butt cheeks. The other day there was literally pictures of people doing hot tub streams with both.
Mm-hmm.
Just bending over in front of a camera or having your underboob out. You know the whole thing with bathing suits now. It's like it cuts off. Like I don't want my under titty hanging out. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not for comfort. It's
true,
for money. Which I have no problem with people doing this, but I thought that there was rules. Like people that do body paint, like on Twitch.
I remember that they weren't allowed to do it.
They get like banned all the time and everything, and then like you're allowed to do this and nothing happens. Like I just wish that they were like had the same rules for everyone.
Yeah. See, I don't use Twitch often, so I didn't know it was all on the front page or doing anything like that.
I think it was, so my knowledge of it being on the front page is from Vikash, who logged in, and it was on his front page. I don't know if it was on the actual front page of Twitch. I don't think it was. Too. Yeah,
I think that says more about
Vikash. That's what's funny, because people were like, people that were saying, oh, it was on the front page or whatever, like other people were like, that's what is curated for you because that's what you're watching. Like back, like this is firing back at you, dude. Come on,
Like when I open up Twitch, I get Mario speedruns, Dark Souls speedruns. I don't get
I just get, like horror games.
Anyway,
okay, so it's Taylor then.
So it is usually curated and
the page is just what Twitch puts on there. The front actual first thing is what Twitch is like has on their front page.
Curated. So that is
that's not curated.
Okay.
So your recommended channels will be stuff that you've watched similarly.
Oh, Twitch. Always fucking up.
Twitch.
That's but to be fair, I don't think this is a fuck up. I agree with Hannah. Do what you want, But I also agree with Kelly in that and that's a part of the reason I brought this up, because I do feel like rules on Twitch are very selective of the person who is breaking those rules.
Yeah.
And it does not necessarily go across the platform, and that's kind of unfair. But I'm not trying to stop nobody. Girl, if you get paid reading fortunes in your bikini, do you. I wish that I could do it. Have me on your stream. Let's work something out. If they want some of that, I don't care.
I'm already half ready. Tarot cards.
Oh my God, Kelly! What are we doing? What are we waiting for? End the podcast and start a stream.
Okay, let's go.
This is the perfect time.
I love it.
Anyway, so something else that happened over Twitch, which is going to be the last topic for tonight, and then I'm just telling everybody what they missed out on, because there was a lot to talk about, and it's getting a little bit late. So this one's a little bit of controversy, but I do want you guys' opinion on it. So, Elf Cosmetics. I have worked with Elf Cosmetics before. Kelly, are you okay?
Yeah, totally fine.
Okay, so I've worked at a company that has partnered with Elf Cosmetics before. I'm a little knowledgeable on Elf Cosmetics, but not too much. Elf decided that they were going to join the Twitter space, and they have a new program called Elf U, which is them partnering with female gamers on Twitch to curate makeup for. Oh my God. Sorry, my cat just scratched me. Apologies. To curate makeup for the female gamer demographic. All sounds like a really good idea. I'm gonna essentially summarize a little bit of this and then read some tweets from it, and then you guys give me your opinions on this hot ass mess. Oops, you know how I feel about it. So Twitch, Elf partnered with a few female gamers for Twitch, but the first thing that they did was they sent out a tweet that said, please, they asked for, it says, and I quote, looking double threats, who are your favorite beauty influencers who game? That was the tweet. And the tweet underneath it with the most interactions, with 1,043 likes, 61 retweets, and 58 comments, was from a Twitch streamer named Confetti.
Milady Confetti.
Yes, that is her Twitch name is Milady Confetti. She is a dark-skinned black woman who does cosplay and does makeup. She, like I said, she had the most amount of interactions for this tweet with 1,000. The second place, I believe, was I don't know. Dejari is her Twitch or her Twitter name at 163 likes. So that is a lot of a huge difference. 1,063 to 163. That is a lot of interaction that this tweet got from Elf Cosmetics. So what ended up happening was Elf did this whole thing about, we're gonna come out with this. They had a commercial and they were talking about a little bit about diversity in their commercial for the stream, and then they did this, and this dark-skinned black woman was getting the most traction for Elf on their Twitch, their Twitter, on their Twitter, and then they started sending some PR press kits to certain streamers. And none of those streamers were either men or trans or black women. So people got a little concerned. And then Twitch decided that they were going to have their Twitch Elf U presentation. And during this presentation, the 3 people that were a part of it that I saw personally watching the stream, they were all 3 white women that were a part of this Elf stream. And 2 of them were talking about how it's really hard for them to find makeup in shades that work for them. And Kellie, your face. When they were talking about makeup, it seemed as if they didn't really know anything about makeup when they were talking about the makeup. So it was a little weird. And then the third person, her name is Faspi on Twitter. Elf retweeted her and she said the Elf Cosmetics Twitch channel launch event is happening right now. Come join the fun, etc., etc. She was there was some comments made during her version of the Twitch presentation about how there was no diversity or representation in this Elf Twitch presentation. And what she did during this conversation was she went onto her computer and she pulled up the Twitter account of a person who said that there was no diversity at the event. And she said, this is stupid. And she said that there was diversity at the event because the DJs were of other diversities at the event. And she also said that it is, how can you say that there's no diversity because there are no black women included? Those are not direct quotes, but that's what she said. So, after this came out, I was like, as I watched this, I was like, I don't think she knows what diversity means.
I don't think she does.
Because, like, to say that there's no diversity because there's no black women, like, what do you think the word diversity means? Like, I was very confused. And then for her to also say that the DJs were of other diversities, first of all, that's not how that word works. But secondly, the DJs were not a part of this event. The DJs were not sent PR press kits of Elf Cosmetics. They were not sent to represent Elf on Twitch. They were not a part of this. So to try to include the DJs of other diversities is just bullshit. So she went on to say, after she got called out for putting people on blast for this. She went on to say, and I quote, "I don't want to be scared to learn and grow, but you're villainizing the wrong person. Please stop the blind hate and get to know me under normal circumstances. What you aren't seeing in clips are the times I reinforced the validity of the feelings being shared and showed compassion. I'm sorry for anyone who has been affected. I strive to be one who is open to discussion, inclusive, and welcoming. One thing I've learned from this as a new influencer is that I should feel confident to have more impact on discussions, on things, and I'm being invited to, and I want to do better." That was her, I guess, apology. I didn't see an actual apology. Whatever. That was her apology. And then Elf went and untweeted their retweet of her participating in the event. And then Elf finally commented after days, this happened like 3 days ago, Elf finally commented today after days of this happening, and their response, which I will read to you guys right now, was, hold on 1 second. They said, "We are at the beginning of our Twitch journey, preparing for many hours of streaming to share with you that will represent a diverse community of gamers and creators. We started Elf U to uplift all gamers and to empower women content creators and their allies. We are excited to show you the talent that we have planned, and we are even more excited to be expanding our community as we look for more gaming and makeup creators to join us. To best deliver engaging content, we will continue to seek your feedback and welcome your ideas." Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is not the whole situation, because I think I'm going to put words in you guys' mouth, but I think we can all agree that this was a bad look for Elf. I think that if you're going to have people represent your brand, you should probably have some PR training for them so that when people ask them about makeup, they can actually talk about makeup, because that's what they're talking about on your Twitch makeup channel. You should also have PR conversations with them and preparation with them about diversity. If you're going to talk about your event being something that includes diversity, the people that are representing you should also be able to speak about diversity, not say things like Black women not included, how is that diversity? And also not say that the T-Chase were also of other diversities. So what are you talking about? That whole thing was just a mess. Actually, I'll ask first. Does anyone want to actually comment on any of that before I ask my actual question?
Really quick.
No.
Because I started laughing at one point, just because I was thinking when she said the DJs were of other diversities. I think I'm not trying to defend her or anything, but I think that was one of those moments where she thought she was using a word that makes her sound smarter. Because I've been there before. I was trying to write an essay before. And
What?
because this is where it was, and I'm writing the essay, whatever, and I used the word that I thought, one, was real, and two, made me sound smart.
You thought was real? Was the word not real?
No, the word was moralities. That's not a real word. Morality is a plural, it can be used as plural. So I wrote the essay, whatever, I'm like, yeah, I sound super smart. My teacher calls me because she's doing 1-by-1 reviews of the essay, and she goes, "Gabriel, I loved your essay, but what happened at the beginning?" I'm like, what are you talking about, Miss Howell? She goes, "What were you trying to say when you said moralities?" I'm like, "It's right there in the sentence. That's a real word." And she's like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "It 100% is." And then we both pulled out our phones and looked it up, and I was like, "Well, goddamn, I'm dumb." So that's why I was laughing, because I'm like, I keep playing back the DJs are of different diversities. Like, I feel like she genuinely thought she was hitting a point there. Yeah, I feel like she was hitting a point there. So I just want to clear up because it kind of looked bad. I was laughing like all this serious stuff is happening. I'm over here cracking up because I'm thinking of that.
But I think that just goes back to my other point, which is you should probably have some type of PR training for people that are going to be a part of your event. Like, especially if you're going to claim that your event is diverse. The last thing you need to do is put somebody up there who says something like that. But also, to that point, if you are trying to be smart and trying to defend Elf, if someone is complaining about it, you should probably stop and take a second and think about why they're having these complaints before you try to defend it and call it stupid. And also, what you shouldn't do as a streamer in general on a big platform is if calling people out and then showing your followers the tweet or the Twitter account of the person that you're calling out can be really dangerous. Like, if I had, thousands of followers and I'm like, wow, look at this dumbass guys, like they're such a piece of shit. I don't know how many of my followers might go to that person and be like, hey, Jerel said you're a piece of shit. Like I think you're shit too. And like, just go in their DMs and call them shit, right? Like, you have to be responsible for what you're doing. And not only is this happening, but she's representing Elf Cosmetics as a company at that point. So what does that mean for Elf Cosmetics? Like, what does that mean for me as a consumer for Elf Cosmetics, right? Also, you talk about diversity, men use makeup. No dudes were sent PR kits. No dudes were invited. You've got people in drag, you have trans people, and yet the people who were sent the PR kits are, once again, no offense, I love you guys, but they are white women, once again, the same demographic. And last week we talked about white women being a safe demographic, and that's why when people want diversity, they go for white women. So I think whatever. So my actual question for you guys is, do you think that there is anything that Elf can do to recover from this, one? And two, do you think companies will ever learn? Because this is not the first company to do this.
No, companies will never learn.
No, I was going to say the same thing.
Learn.
Yeah.
Some companies will look at these PR disasters and maybe not make the PR disasters, but if we're talking about companies plural in general, no. This is not this kind of bad PR is never going to go away completely. And the only good things about these disasters is that other companies can look at these disasters and say, let's not do that.
But they had but that's what I'm saying. Like, we've seen this happen on Twitch multiple times.
Oh,
so
sure.
why is it that it happened again?
Oh, sure.
Like, you had
because
so
they didn't
much
learn.
research.
I ain't saying that just because the information's out there, people are going to read it. If you get my meaning with that, like people will make what they say: those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, if you don't look at what's going on and just forge out ahead on your path, and of course you're going to make the same mistakes. It's just the natural part of it. But you would hope that the smart ones would look at famous disasters and learn from it. To the question of whether they can recover from it, man, that's an uphill battle if I ever did see one. I don't think it's impossible, but man, oh man, this was. Whew.
I don't think that they can recover because I follow a lot of these people on Twitter that were speaking out and speaking on Milady Confetti's behalf because they engaged with her tweet. They were saying her tweet had the most engagement, and a lot of them are now saying, well, if anybody partners with Elf, they're on the shit list, they're blacklisted. So now no one's gonna partner with them. So what they did was effectively shut the door on a lot of partnerships, and anybody that kind of wants to do it is gonna be seen as a traitor now because of what Elf did. So they really just kind of fucked themselves way more by not including a diverse cast just because I don't know, using the safe option just really fucked them up. But they did it as a risk mitigation. They thought it would be less risky, but in reality now it's just turned so many people off. It was way more of a risky move. But who does 3 people?
I was like, this is so strange, but because I saw one with the 2 girls that were a part of it, and then hers was separate, and I was like, how does this work? I think the whole thing was just planned. Really, I honestly think that Elf was just we want to get gamer girls to buy shit, and they didn't do any type of research. They just contacted the highest rated white girls they could find and sent them shit and put them on camera.
I guess they couldn't even get anybody that anyone knows. I don't even know any of these people. I didn't even know any of them. And I'm on Twitch all the time. I know some of the more popular people. And there's like you said, there's a ton of drag on Twitch as well. A lot of people do that. Actually, dude, fucking Fifi O'Hara is on Twitch.
There you go.
She doesn't really do the drag looks anymore. She does cosplay and stuff, but
they
I
use
don't remember his name, but he's on Twitch. He's a streamer now. He was literally on RuPaul's Drag Race. Come the fuck on. And on All Stars? Okay, anyway, sorry. I don't want to tangent there.
I mean, you could just tell they put no effort into actually putting this whole thing together. It was very surface level.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I didn't even know the people, and that's fine, I guess. I didn't even know about, honestly, I didn't even know about the elf thing until the backlash. I only saw the backlash, and then I was like, oh shit, something must have happened with elf, and then I follow a lot of people who follow all these other streamers and whatever, and they're all, now, see, what elf did was really, they shut the door on themselves and opened it for everyone else. Like Fenty Beauty, every creator now wants to work with them. They're like, you know what, fuck Elf, Fenty, if you want a partner, I'm here. ColourPop, if you want a partner, I'm here. All these people, they're like literally like blacklisting Elf from gaming totally now. And like every other brand is like, if you're ready to get into gaming, I'm here to be like your person that I'm gonna do it for. Like, it's insane how bad it blew up in their face, really.
And they did it to themselves.
Yeah. I can't say that they don't deserve it at this point because, just like Hannah said, this was the least planned out, the most, ghetto-ass presentation. I'm sorry. Like, I was like, what is this? Like, y'all just threw this shit together last minute, threw some makeup and some white girls and threw them on camera. And then, like, when you make comments, like, and I don't think that they make them on purpose, but I really feel like it comes off as kind of, in your own bubble and very ignorant when you say things like, and you are a white woman saying, I can't find my shade. Like, bitch, like 50 shades are yours. Like, you go into a fucking like thing, and everything that you see is probably some type of shade that you can work with. And once again, no offense to you guys, but like, and I understand that it's hard to. I'm not saying that it's not hard to find a shade of makeup that works for you. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, when you are touting diversity and you're going to be talking about makeup for a brand that you're representing, you have to be conscious of the world that you're in.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's why, Fenty Beauty is so popular, because it is about diversity. It is for everyone. If Elf wants to be for everyone, then make it for everyone. If you're talking about your journey about finding makeup, like, it's very different to say, it took me a while to find the right shade, but working with Elf, I was able to, find the shade that I need. And the best part is, not only me, but everyone is, because it's so inclusive. I have male friends that are able to go in and find makeup and help that. It's like, I can fucking do it. Put me on camera. Like, come on. Like, this is like, it's not even that hard. But the fact that you have these women that are just so out of like the sphere of knowledge and understanding, like, I just don't fucking get it. So anyway, Kellie, you said that they can't come back from this, right? And that my other thing, I'm sorry, the other thing that upset me is that you ask for people, right? Like, you ask for streamers. The only reason that you're getting engagement is because of Milady Confetti, right? Like, 1,000, you have more likes and retweets on her tweet in response to your tweet than you do on your actual fucking tweet. So, but why, my question is, why ask? Why do this if there's no payout from that? Like, what was the point of asking for what people want to see if you were not going to connect what people want to see with what you're showing? Like, what's the purpose of that? But anyway, sorry, Kellie, yes, you think there's no coming back from this.
I think, like, I don't think that they couldn't come back from a PR nightmare. I don't think that. I think it's, like, who they've got turned against. Like, I don't necessarily, like, I don't know, like, I feel like you could probably come back from this as, like, just, like, a PR, like, boo-boo, but, like, now they've just made it to where people are so mad that they just would rather just work with anyone else, and I think that they were, like, one of the first to kind of do this, which there was Gamer Glam, I haven't tried their products, but, like, they were, like, one of the first, like, major gaming companies, or major makeup companies to, like, kind of want to, like, get in on this craze, and they were, like, the first, and they just, like, when they fucked it up is, like, so bad. Like, they're like, we're gonna get into gaming. We're, like, the first one saying this. And then, like, oh, we fucked up. But now everyone is seeing this and being like, oh, shit, we could just totally get into gaming right now. It's a good, like, they, like, I don't know, they, like, just monumentally fucked themselves. Like, it really is crazy. It was just, like, a perfect storm of things. And now I don't feel like there's a recovery. I feel like there might have been, in the beginning.
They didn't even apologize.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't apologize. They said, we're new and we're looking for more people and we're working on it. They didn't apologize for what she said, and you have to take responsibility for the people that you put on camera in front of you representing your brand.
Yeah.
And all they did was undo the retweet of her being a part of it. Like, the retweet is still there on her page. Like, you can still go to her page and see that it's there. So, like, you guys didn't apologize. She did some half-ass apology, like, and, like, no one's probably talked to her since this. Like, nothing is gonna happen to her. And if you read some of the comments, they're just, like, the most, like, racist, ridiculous nonsense, because anytime that someone does something wrong, people are just gonna be like, no, you're totally fine. You're not the problem. It's everyone else. And so people are telling her that, and and I don't wish for anyone to go be negative to her. Like, I don't think anyone should go and throw vitriol her way. But I also think that you should. I don't know. I guess if I'm representing a brand, I'm gonna step back and think and learn and listen before I'm like, no, this is so stupid. Everybody's stupid. There's Black Lady. Oh wait, there's not. But the DJs. Like,
I feel like what happens whenever you're a part of something like this, like, I've never been given an opportunity like this, but let's say I was in this person's shoes. I get this opportunity. I'm very excited. And then people come at me and they're just being negative and stuff. I might lash out with hate. Obviously, you shouldn't ever be saying racist stuff, but I feel like the people that got involved with this, they were, like, excited to be a part of this. And then people were, like, mad at them about Elf not having a diverse cast of people. Obviously, the way they reacted was crazy. But, like, they weren't in charge of the casting. They were just part of it. They just got an opportunity to be part of something. They said yes, and they did it. Like, Elf is really to blame, so I hate that this person was blamed. Obviously, we see, that she kind of, like, spun out of control. She had no idea how to handle the situation. But, like, the company is the blame here. Like, they picked the people that they picked, and you got to be part of it, so you want to be excited, but then now, like, it's just totally blown up in your face. Now you have a totally negative image, not just for Elf, like, fuck them. Like, even on your Twitch and stuff, like, people are gonna think that you're some kind of terrible person now. Like, I mean, you kind of are, but
okay.
I'm just saying that it's, like, you're not expecting this to happen. You're like, oh my god, Elf, I'm doing this, like, and then it's just like, okay, my dreams have turned to literal trash now. And it's over, and what else but lash out? I mean, there's nothing left. Like, the ashes of your dreams of an Elf partnership are, like, falling through your fingers. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I'd react in this situation. I'd probably be, like, really pissed off, but I don't think that you would just be like, I don't say that I would say there were other diversities, because that makes no sense at all.
It doesn't, yeah.
I think the biggest problem with what she did was to say that that's stupid. Like, if someone's saying there's no diversity, the first thing out of your mouth should not be that stupid. What do you mean? Are you saying that because there's no Black women? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Because now, like, I can be empathetic, right? I can completely understand what you're saying. Like, you're being attacked on stream, but the things that you are saying allow me to understand what you think about diversity. And it is not okay. And that's why you're to blame for this. I completely agree with you. Elf is to blame for the casting. They did this. They are in the wrong. But I don't think that, and Kellie, I've talked to you for how many episodes now? Like, we are friends. I do not think that if this happened to you, the first thing you would say is, are you saying there's no diversity because there's no Black women? Like, better than that.
Yeah, that is a very pointed statement. Like, it is very, like, a pointed, very specific thing to say.
It's very specific.
Yeah. And if you don't know better than that, then
Which
I
means
don't
that
think you should.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Which means that she noticed it.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
Like,
she was aware of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and so what I want to now ask you, Kellie and Hannah, as my lovely white women connoisseurs here, if you
be tasting ourselves,
y'all are my insides, I don't understand. You're gonna have to help me out here.
All right, getting internal. Okay.
Got it.
If you are invited to, let's say this didn't happen, right? And you're invited to Elf Cosmetics as streamers. Video game Elf you're part of this, you're super excited, you get sent PR kits. Do you think that it is your responsibility to try to figure out who all is going to be a part of this and, like, what you're going to be doing with it? Or do you just accept it and do what they say?
You should vocalize it and at least bring it up and just say, this feels kind of odd and weird, and, you know, it isn't a diverse group of people. We are all white. Like, being able to at least vocalize it with them and say it, because what's the worst they're going to do? Just say, bye, go away. Then that's their deal, but at least stand up and say something.
So you do think it is your responsibility to find out who is a part of this group, and if it's not diverse, to speak up?
Yeah, I think so.
What about you, Kellie?
But I do think Elf plays a large part in that as well, you know? But certainly bringing attention to the situation is a key part.
I just feel like if it was some unknown brand, I would be like, all right, who all gonna be there, you know? But it was Elf. like, having 3 people for one is, like, such a small number of people to select.
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel like I might even, like, assume, like, okay, there's gonna be, like, 20 people involved in this. Like, you're trying to break into a space and you're hiring 3 people? Like, I'm so, like, I don't even know what I would think. And it's Elf. Like, it's a brand that everyone knows. Like, I buy their blush. It's wonderful. I probably won't now, but whatever. I just, like...
There's just a lot of questionable aspects to, I think, the whole stream setup in general, that I'm shocked no one really did ask any questions. Like, the fact that there is only 3 people or anything like that. I mean, there's just a lot of layers to it that are really bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like I would just assume that
they would have more people.
They would have more people, and they would, I guess, I don't know, I haven't been offered that opportunity, and to be honest, I'm being really, like, candid here, like, people on Twitch, especially, like, not large streamers, like, they're really desperate, like, I'm one of them, I suck, you know? So, like, they're really wanting partnerships, they're really wanting this, like, this would be a dream come true for people. Like, I think that we're taking that and we're kind of, like, discounting it. Like, to turn down an opportunity with Elf would be almost crazy. And I think that's probably what these people thought. Like, because clearly she noticed that there were no black women. She was like, what? There's no black women? Like, she noticed that it was a thing. And I think that she was, like, so desperate to make this Twitch stream. I don't even know what her metrics are, whatever, but, like, even if she's pretty successful on Twitch, like, you think that might even, like, skyrocket you, like, it's such a huge opportunity. I think that, like, that would be such a big part of it. And you would think that there would be more people involved. I don't know what I would do in the situation, because I want to make money to play video games, like, and, like, wear super popular makeup. I don't, like, it's just this weird, crazy scenario that I don't know why it happened this way, and I don't know how I'd react in this situation. I would hope that I would speak out for diversity, and I think that I believe there should have been, but at the same time, like, I really just don't know what they were thinking. Yeah. And would you turn down an opportunity this huge? Like, I would just not ask any questions, like, okay, sure, yeah, like, would I? I don't know. It's like, it's kind of a hard decision. I don't know. And I don't want to, like, lie and say, like, I'd do the right thing. I'd sell out for money. Like, I like money a lot. I don't know.
And that's an important piece to bring up, right? Because I don't stream, but you make a really valid point where if people are desperate to do it, then what does your mindset become after that? You know, like, what do you do in that situation when you are just desperate to make money?
I don't know. I completely get what you're saying, but I do feel like, and this is just me, but I feel like if y'all are telling me that I'm going to be on stream for y'all, I kind of want to know what's going to happen on this stream. Like, I need to know what we're going to be talking about, especially if, and obviously I don't know what they did, but if they are like, hey, Jerel, you want to be a part of this elf shit? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, okay, the stream is this day. You're just going to go on and, you know, stream and be cool and just talk about makeup. First thing I'm going to say is, what the fuck am I supposed to say about makeup? Like, what do you want me to say? Give me some analytics. Give me some internals. Like, what's happening? How is the stream going to happen? Am I just going to be playing with myself? Am I not playing by myself? Or am I going to be playing with someone else? You know what I meant. Like,
69.
Like, you know, like, I feel like me as a person, and that is obviously me having a little bit of experience with, you know, these types of situations, right? Like, if we're planning our Among Us tournament, right? I've already told Brandon, like, let's practice this, let's try this out, let's make sure it works before we do it, because that's just the type of person that I am. So I want to make sure that before I hop on camera for somebody, I know what I'm talking about. If I'm going to, you know, get, and obviously, once again, this is me, but I've had, opportunities to work with people before that I've been connected with that I have turned down because for me, it's like, yeah, that could be a lot of money. That could be a lot of good things for me, but I don't like that person. Like, I don't like how that person is. I know that that person has done this. I know that that person has done that. Thank you for the opportunity, but it's not for me. But also, I have the hindsight to know that already, so I can completely understand going into the situation with Elf and being like, well, I just assume it's Elf. Like, of course they're going to have a nice setup. Of course they're going to have diversity. Of course they're going to have a set that I'm going to just be a part of. Like, I shouldn't have to ask all these questions. But for me, personally, I probably would anyway, just because I want to be prepared to know what the fuck's going on.
That's the kind of person I am, too. I very much like all the details ahead of time of kind of knowing what's going on, what's happening, who else will be there, that kind of a thing. I like to know the little specifics.
Yeah, because you can't just tell me on the stream and be like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, do I put makeup on during the stream? Like,
well, that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If you're like a streamer and they're telling you, like, they've maybe checked out their content, they're like, just do your thing. Like, maybe they were just supposed to do, like, what they always do. Like, but I just don't know these people, so I don't know if they, like, do they do get ready with me streams? That's a thing. Like, where people put on their makeup before the stream.
well, I know the first stream had, like, a mod, I guess she was from Elf, and they were talking about makeup. So it was, like, 3 women sitting there, the Elf mod and the 2 white women, and talking about makeup, and that's how they got into the conversation of, like, oh, I can't find, like, so, like, there had to, I'm assuming, be some conversations behind the scenes, like, this is the moderator, this is what we're going to talk about. And still then, I'm not giving, Elf an out. I do still think that this is Elf's fault, because then, like I mentioned, you have some type of PR training with these people if you're going to have them represent your brand. Like, we should probably tell them the analytics and specifics of the makeup. Like, do you use Elf products? If not, hey, these are good brands that might work for you. Here's a press kit of, try these out before the stream, etc. So it just seems like, yeah, Elf is to blame, and it was all just kind of really messy and ghetto for the nonsense that happened.
I mean, it all goes back to the fact that it was just so poorly planned.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell.
It's very thinly layered, too. It doesn't feel really genuine, I guess, in what it wanted to accomplish. So it was just a very surface level thing.
But also, I completely understand Kellie. Like, if there was some, like, Black people company that was like, Bro, we want to work with you, I'd be like, alright, let's go. Will I do research? Who knows? I don't know, guys. They're just up there being like, fuck white people, and be like, ooh, what are we doing? Hold on, guys. What's going on?
How big is the check?
Might have to say fuck white people. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. If I knew there was not going to be any diversity and stuff, I probably wouldn't choose to go down that path. Maybe I would say something. Maybe I wouldn't partner with them. It's just like, I feel like people really want these opportunities, and you've been given kind of like a really big opportunity to work with Elf, and I don't know. It really sucks.
Complex.
Yeah, it's a little, there's a lot of layers. I guess just because I do stream on Twitch and I do like makeup and I am a gamer girl and stuff. I mean, I guess not only girls wear makeup, so it doesn't really matter, but like, I fit into that little like niche of people that they were trying to market to so well.
Well, they are taking applications. There's a contest right now.
I can't. Now I'll be blacklisted.
Hey,
also, no one watches the streams anyways. I don't know. No one watches me.
They
just hate watch me. That'd be fine.
And they might pay you.
Realistically, part of my follower base could be now. I don't know them. Like, who knows? I have no idea. Like, they just watch me play Resident Evil or other bullshit. Like, they don't say a lot, so I don't know. They're not.
Who knows? So they could be racist right now. Speaking of males that wear makeup, Brandon and Gabe, I will open this conversation up for you guys if there's anything that you'd like to say or comment on the situation.
I don't.
No, y'all said everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long segment, but I feel like it's kind of like the biggest thing on streamer Twitter right now, so I feel like it was something that we needed to talk about. So.
Yeah, which is also why I love this podcast, because I love that we not only get to talk about gaming news, but we also get to talk about what's happening in the gaming sphere, and not a lot of podcasts do that. Yeah, give me the fucking tea. Tell me why you guys were offended by this bitch, because I was. And you might not have been, I don't know. You could all just be lying. It could be huge racist.
Well, I didn't see any of it. I only saw, like, the streamers that were complaining. And,
oh my god.
You know what I mean?
See, for anyone listening, I send clips They don't watch them.
I'm sorry. I'll watch it
Like,
now.
All right, but hold on. In our defense, he sends clips in the middle of the workday when
That's
we're all
because I don't
working.
like working while I'm at work, so I look for other things to do while I'm at I'm just
I hope
kidding.
your
For anyone
job
who
doesn't
listens at my
listen to
job, I
this. Yeah.
totally do work.
Oh, this job is.
I work all the time. I'm going to work tomorrow, and what am I going to be doing?
Yeah,
I can't say he
well-
doesn't, because this man is up at 3:30 in the morning.
Going to fucking work, so, and then, by 11,
No
I'm like,
matter
why am
how
I
many
still
times
here?
we tell him to take the day off, he's like, "No, I need to go to
I
work."
just took like
They need
2
me
or
there.
3 days off, actually, because I was
Because he needs to waste so much money on video games that he has to
that
go to
I have
work.
to not play yet. So there it's a cycle. Very cyclical situation that I'm stuck in.
If there's a sugar daddy listening, Jerel is open to applications.
100%. Actually, don't say that because of a situation. I take that back. I am not.
You take that back. I was joking, but
not
I am looking
currently
for one.
looking for a sugar daddy, but Gabe is.
Officially, he's not looking for a
I
sugar
am
daddy.
looking for one.
Unofficially,
Also,
though.
remember, if you've gotten to this part of the podcast, you've heard me
Love it.
mention bats and kneecaps various times, so don't try anything with me.
Correct.
All
He is
right, and now you're threatening. Your
Allegedly,
sugar daddy. I don't
you
know
know,
what's
I'm
going on.
not
Some kind of vigilante.
threatening. I'm making a preemptive assumption
And
of
that's why you will
weirdos.
never have one. You see?
And you
That's
know what?
why
That's
you
okay, because I work for my own money.
Why? When you can just get some dude to pay for you.
I'm not good enough to be a sugar
You know what
baby.
you should
I
do?
can't
You
stand
should partner
people.
with Elf. And be their male streamer.
You can
would
play
make so
both.
much
Yeah.
money.
aside from the fact after what just happened with Elf, that in their case that would be one of the biggest losses because I can't figure out technology for my life. I've been trying to stream since like 2000 and
I'll
whenever
help
streaming
you.
was. No, trust me, Kelly. Everyone's tried helping me.
So,
I'm just
Hannah,
a lost cause.
just as a
I'll
little
just take
insight,
control of your computer and
just
do
as
it.
an insight to this
So I
conversation,
don't want you looking at my
Gabe
computer.
literally asked for help one day, and he was like, "How do I use a what is it called? The fucking light." Oh my god.
The ring light?
Yeah, he was
The
like,
ring
"How do
light.
I use a ring light?" And Kelly's help
that one
literally
doesn't
was turn it on, and I was like, "Oh my
No,
god!"
but in that scenario, that was my
wow.
fault because I worded that one wrong. What I meant to say was like, how should I be positioning the ring light and stuff? Because as you can see, I have the ring
I
in
was
my
like,
glasses,
damn.
and I don't
Yeah.
have contacts, and at this point, I feel like I look sick when I'm not wearing my glasses. So, like, I was like, is it supposed to be in front of me, to the side? But instead, I was like, yo, how do you use a ring light? And it's like, bro, you just turn the fucking
I
power
texted
button
Kelly
on.
and she was like, "Turn it on," and I was like, "I don't know
We've all
whether
been there.
to feel
Okay.
bad for Gabe or laugh at Kelly."
You didn't feel bad for
Like,
shit. Yeah, don't
I was like,
try and
but then also that shit-
100% were laughing. You
It
fag.
was so funny. She was like, "Turn it on." I was like, "Oh, he can't be that bad. Like, there's no way."
Oh, I was genuinely just asking, like, how do you set it up and whatnot.
Anyway, and with that, I'm going to mention all the things that we didn't get to talk about this week, and then going to do a lovely little outro and thank Hannah for being such an awesome sport and coming onto the podcast with us tonight. I know it's been a long one, but I appreciate
Oh,
you
it's
so
been
much.
fun though.
I'm so
I've had
excited.
fun.
I'm so happy. I've been anticipating having you come on, and thank you so much for always supporting HP Critical. You're so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So some things that we didn't get to today are PS5 stock issues continuing into 2022. I
Yep.
don't think
Yeah.
we talked about Xbox having shoes with Adidas. So yeah, that's a thing.
Sweet.
The new Venom movie, totally forgot. The trailer came out for Venom. If you want to
It
say
looks
anything
sick.
about it really quick. Oh, it looks sick.
Can't wait. Can't
Perfect.
wait. I enjoyed the first one.
I was going to mention the top PlayStation downloads of the month. Resident Evil 8 broke 100,000 concurrent players on Steam. Oh,
Yeah.
Star Wars. Fuck, Brandon, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Star Wars. Did you want to say something about the Bad Batch Legendary Edition?
That's a conversation. Can we put that in the notes for next week?
I
I do want to.
100% yes.
I do want to talk about that, but I need time. So that's
Yes.
say that for you.
Yeah, we totally can. Gal Gadot
Okay.
on her career issues with Josh Whedon. Josh
Shit.
Whedon?
Joss Whedon, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Sega wanting to globally expand and release all their games globally at the same time, which will be very interesting thanks to the success of Yakuza. And I think that was everything. Oh, Lego's donating $1 million to Save the Children India, which was really, really awesome. I can't believe I forgot that. That's
Nice.
amazing. I just wanted to bring that up because that's really dope. PlayStation 5, Cosmic Red and Midnight Black PS5 controllers.
Oh god, that red one's so nice.
I can't decide which one I want, so I'm just not going to get either one.
No, what he means is he
There you
can't
go.
decide which one
It
he
works.
wants, so he's gonna buy
We'll get
both.
both.
I was going to
Yeah.
say I'm going to buy both. But I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just not going to get any, because if I say I'm going to buy both, then everyone's going to talk shit. So yeah, I'm just buy both. And that was everything that we had to talk about today. And
No,
with
what
that,
about the leakers about E3?
oh fuck,
Oh.
yes.
There's a lot of news to cover this week.
So
Wow.
much, so much.
Yeah.
So yes, Gabe, can you quickly tell us about that?
No, that's a whole conversation. I mean, in short,
We can
it's
save
the
it
only
for
thing I
next
can
week,
say.
too.
The thing I can say is I feel like, we're getting back into the swing of regular things with video games. E3 is obviously a big thing. If you're a fan of all that stuff, don't buy into too much what leakers are saying, because you're going to get your hopes up too high.
I feel like he's talking about himself.
No, because I know better by now.
That's not true, because you literally talked about how your hopes were specifically high for Nintendo's anniversary.
Which had nothing to do with leakers. That's just me putting hope in Nintendo actually getting on their shit with Zelda.
And look how far that's gotten you so far.
Has nothing to do with leakers.
Okay. Anyway, and we might, talk about that a little bit more next week. And, of course, for anyone listening, make sure you hang out for episode 69, where we continue to talk about all things.
Nice.
It's going to be great.
We actually pretty tame this episode. It was,
We were.
I'm
I think
actually
I
impressed.
only talked about playing with myself once, so that's... Not that I do.
Yeah, he does it a lot.
Not... Okay. Anyway, because it's getting awkward. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Wait.
What?
Oh, sorry. Really quick, one of the first headlines I see when I go into Google, new Fire Emblem rumor has Nintendo fans excited.
See? Don't listen to the rumors for E3. That's probably something else we'll talk about. It's crazy. Three Houses is a great game. Anyway, thank you so much, Hannah. You were fucking
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me on.
This
This was so much fun.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for everything. You're fucking awesome. Keep up the good work over at the IGN Guides section. Check out her stuff at IGN.
I will.
And can you please plug your podcast one more time?
Yes, it's Shuffle the Pod. You can just find it at Shuffle the Pod on Twitter. And there you go.
Thank you. And of course, Gabe, Kellie, and Brandon, you guys are always the bee's knees, even if I don't say it all the time because I talk shit about Gabe. Thank you for always
Just
sharing
Gabe,
with
not the
us.
other two.
Huh?
Pardon me.
Well, that's because I'll talk
That's
about
because
it on the podcast.
I
Oh
do.
my god! Anyway, thank you all for sharing your experiences with us, having actual, real conversations about serious topics. I always appreciate it. And with that, we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye, everybody!
Guys.
Let's go! HP Critical!